guys, Jammin here in the Phantom Zone, and today on Versus, we're going to be doing some Ray Harryhausen tributes, and we're going to talk about Jason and the Argonauts versus Clash of the Titans. The reason I picked these two, I could have easily picked the two, well, we might even do the first two Sinbads. To me, these were the two that really spoke to me a lot as a kid. My name is Jason, so there's that. My team in Box Wars, when we did this thing called Box Wars, was Jason and the Argonauts. So there's that. I love that movie. And then Clash of the Titans, of course, is one of my favorites. I have the toys with their weapons and accessories. I've got the posters. I think it was one of the first movie posters I ever bought was Clash of the Titans. And Harryhausen is one of my heroes. I own every DVD or Blu-ray related to Harryhausen, even if he just worked on a scene or two or something, and even his shorts, he did a bunch of shorts and stuff. I bought everything you can buy. I think he's got 3 big, huge coffee table books. I have 2 of the 3. I don't have the third one, or I'm not sure if there was a third one. I can't remember. I may be missing one. Maybe one of the guys in our panel can let me know. So, okay, we're going to do this how we always do it. We're going to do the space, the story, the pacing, the artistry, the characters, and the enjoyment. We're going to pick, instead of ranking them, we're going to pick who has the better story, who has the better pacing, who has the better characters, who's got the better artistry, who's got the better, which one do you enjoy more? And we'll pick a winner at the end. Okay, can't do this by myself, so let's bring in our first panelist. Hello, Sean.
Hey, J-Man, what's up?
Hey, are you ready?
Look at this.
Are you ready for Jason? This is impossible, actually. I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I don't think it's possible. I think we're going to come up with something, and then we're going to change our mind after I end the stream and be like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe that other one was better. But okay, let's bring in our next panelist. All right, Steve, how's it going?
It's going, J-Man. When I saw this one was the next one up, I'm like, how the hell did he think of these two? This is impossible.
I just randomly, because I was looking at my shelf and I saw Talos. I have a Talos figure, and I saw the Clash of Titans, and I saw my little Harryhausen corner. I thought, oh, we got to do Harryhausen. And then I thought, let's just do these two. And Clash was the last one. And Jason's a big one, and I think a lot of people like that a lot. So it's considered pretty stellar. Okay, and we got one more panelist just to make things more interesting. He was here last week. Marc D with a C. How's it going, dude?
Hey, doing excellent. 2 of my favorite movies, so this is fun. I don't know how we're going to figure this one out, but we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun clash. Pardon the bad fun.
And look, we're not going to even pretend that Ray Harryhausen didn't direct these movies. I know that there's directed by, and there's some name on there which nobody knows. But Harryhausen is the director. I was watching a thing on him the other day, and they basically said if he was there, he's basically directing it. Right. It's and he worked alone. Later, he had one assistant. He did all of this by himself. This is insane. The Sinbads. The 3 Sinbads and these 2 are the 5 mega epics, but even some of the older ones are really cool. Sean, what was the one that you were just mentioning? Not 20 Million Miles to Earth, or was that the one we were talking about when we were watching the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, 20 Million Miles to Earth. Humor.
Yeah,
there's also Valley Guanji with all dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome too.
3 Worlds of Gulliver has some guys in it, so yeah.
3 Worlds of Gulliver was really awesome. I was shocked when I watched. I'm like, this is excellent. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, no, Harryhausen is a genius. Every single person who's making a fantasy movie references him in some way. Sci-fi, fantasy, any of the movies that we like, just name anything, and then that person or the head of the special effects or the director is oh, Harryhausen, of course, yeah. It's there's these certain names that keep popping up. Edgar Rice Burroughs, Harryhausen, right? It's these guys pop up. It's this is someone who, inspired us to do something.
But it's not just the spectacle of the special effects, because that's what he's known for, but just the storytelling too. Like Through Worlds of Gulliver, I love when he's mixing stuff together, and one guy's like black science, and he goes black magic, and he goes not black magic, black science.
Yeah.
It's awesome. There's like great moments like that throughout these movies that they're not just. I mean, I guess they are like a clothesline to hang his special effects on, but they also tell great stories too, and they have great characters. So.
Well, I remember we were watching Some Voyage. I think it's Some Voyage to Sinbad, and there's that scene where the Cyclops, like, he's got someone on a spit, and he literally like pulls up like a little stool to sit on while he's doing it, so he can like rest while he's doing it. And I remember Sean saying, like, my God, he just added character to everything. Like, even moments like that.
When the men are missing, he goes, oh, like that. He gets so upset.
Okay, so Rob Ager, who is this British guy who does in-depth movie reviews. Hey, Belle. So he does analysis. Mark, I'm not sure if you know who Rob Ager is. If not, I'll send you his thing privately. I buy some of his videos. You can buy them. And he did like a 2-hour breakdown of C-3PO. And like your mind will be blown, like at how he'll do Star Wars and just the original trilogy, and he'll do like each location and how it represents.
Break down each scene,
scene and everything. And like, I mean, it's crazy. He did 6 hours on 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I watched all 6 hours of it. I'm like the expert, except for him. I'm the secondary expert in 2001.
I love that movie. Yeah. Now, do you watch? I gotta interrupt. Do you watch Pink Floyd Echoes? Do you listen to Echoes at the end of 2001, or do you listen to the original soundtrack?
What's on the whatever's on the 4K is what the original. I have the original soundtrack, so that is.
Well, that's a tradition with my buddies. We always listen to Pink Floyd Echoes. So if I know I've heard that Pink Floyd didn't do that on purpose, but if you've never done it, you time it. I can tell you when we're off this how to, and it's just the most unbelievable. I think it's better than the original soundtrack to listen to Echoes, but that's an aside. But that's just an amazing thing to listen to. I love that movie.
Yeah, you can do. I got Echoes on my. There's like certain apps that connect to YouTube and stuff like that, so you can get a lot of. I mean, it's a legit app. I don't want to get it.
But Pink Floyd, the Pink Floyd would just go so well at the end of that. But yeah, it's fun. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we can start really super quick by like. Just going maybe just quickly, like how did you get introduced to Harryhausen, and then. Just general. Sorry. I remember why I wanted to mention the Rob Ager part. Sorry. So Rob Ager just did like a 10-minute analysis of the Medusa scene in Clash, and how if you look closely, and I never noticed it before, Medusa actually has like lipstick and eye makeup, and it's like, does she still think she's attractive, or she's still just putting it on because. It's like she doesn't obviously need to have it or whatever, right? It's just a weird thing, and also
no one can really see it, right?
Yeah, no one can really see it. And the other thing too, this is something that we all know, is that he doesn't just take the Kraken, because the Kraken is like this octopus style thing. He makes his own version of the thing, right? So it's like a unique creature. And I remember where was the Kraken in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right? I don't remember which one it was in, part 3 or 4, Pirates of the Caribbean, remember?
3.
It was in part 3?
Yeah.
So I was disappointed. Like, I kept forgetting. Like, I kept thinking, oh, shit, here we go. And then it wasn't the Harryhausen Kraken. I'm like, oh, yeah, this isn't the real Kraken.
It's a fake Kraken.
Even though it really is the real Kraken, it's like Harryhausen is the real one. Okay, so let's start with Steve, and we'll go Steve, Mark, Sean, and then me about just Harryhausen. How did you find out about him and blah, blah, blah?
It's, Clash of Titans was around when I was a kid. I probably watched it off beta, I believe. Obviously loved it as a kid. I thought it was like terrific fantasy, and I sort of went from there. Got a lot of my education from J-Man and Sean. Sean got me the Blu-ray of a lot of them that we were talking about. And I watched all those. I would say that when I first saw Jason the Argonauts, J-Man and Sean might remember, we were all sitting together with someone who I won't name, and he talked through the entire film. And I was actually wanting to see Jason and the Argonauts of all the movies. We saw like 4 or 5 movies that day. Jason the Argonauts was the one I really wanted to see, and this guy would not shut up.
Was that an R or a J?
Is a J.
So Jay, oh, okay.
And
well,
literally,
he was excited.
Yeah, it was like, and I was so annoyed, but I didn't know how to tell this guy to shut up because I wanted to actually watch the movie. I think I mentioned it to him because he's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you're not responding. I'm like, I'm trying to watch movies. He's like, oh, okay. And like 2 minutes later, he was talking. And so I didn't actually get a chance to watch Jason the Argonauts properly until I watched the Blu-ray. But Harryhausen, like, I think if you've ever been in, care about fantasy movies, if you ever taken a film class or anything, you should know who Ray Harryhausen is.
Cool. All right, Mark, what's your relationship with Harryhausen?
So I probably saw a lot of his movies growing up. You'd watch, after school, you'd watch, monster movies, King Kong, Godzilla Beyond. I don't know if you guys had the same thing, but I was born, 70s kid. So, after school, they'd have a lot of, movie of the week or after school movies or things. So I'm sure I watched them, not knew, didn't know what the heck, that these amazing things were. But I remember just seeing Jason and the Argonauts and that skeleton scene, all those great scenes we'll talk about. But just blew you away because there was for those youngins out there, there's no CGI, and the first time I saw it on TV, probably saw it on a little 13-inch black and white TV or who knows what small TV back then, which probably helped actually make it look better, from till we had all these nice Blu-rays. But I just probably seen that, and of course. My birthday's in June, so we'd always go see a movie in June. So this Clash of the Titans came out June 12th. I looked it up, 1981. So looking at the calendar, I'm pretty sure I saw this June 20th, 1981 at a birthday party. We take mom would, back in the day, you'd take, buddies to see a movie. You have lunch or cake and then go see a movie, that kind of thing. Simple right. Birthday party. So and I have some fun stories to tell about, being in the movie theater in that movie. But so that blew you away too in the movie theater. Seeing that, it was just so unbelievable, all the effects, and that's a great movie. It was a fun time. So I think he's underappreciated now. Like today, you guys are far more experts than me, but I'm sure just watching some of the interviews on the Blu-ray set and. I have, of course, this is a DVD. Got to get the Blu-ray, but this great, Harryhausen set. Some of his best films.
There's 2 of those, right? I think I've got 2 of those. There's like another one with the other.
There's a second one,
There's a second one, right?
Yeah. And Worlds of Gulliver is good too. Yeah, of course. So, these aren't. I was rewatching some of these today, and of course they're on regular DVD. Unfortunately, so you get spoiled with the quality. It's just underappreciated, and just what a pioneer. And the thing is, he tells great stories with the effects too. So it's not just today we get all these CGI movies. Like I say, like Terminator Salvation or something. It's like, oh, who cares if you have amazing CGI? If you don't tell a good story, it's worth nothing. So he did both.
Effects don't matter as much. There comes a time where it's like there's like that period where the effects sell the movie, and then it gets to a point where now it doesn't matter anymore, right? So it used to be like, if you go way back, it's like black and white days. You're like, okay, you've got a celebrity, and this Hollywood star or starlet will sell the movie. But then you got to a point where it's like, well, now I need the movie to be good, and then it's like, okay, well, now there's all these really good movies with stars in them, yes. And then it got to where, it's in color now, so Technicolor could sell the movie. And then we got used to Technicolor. It's like, everything's in color. I don't care. Now it's got to be a good movie. And then we got to, but now we've got all these cool effects. And then that ended. And now it's like, everything has cool effects. Now we need a good story. Like when people say,
3D.
3D or whatever, the CGI was good. It's like, but is it, even when it's bad CGI, it's never really, really so bad, unless it's one of those asylum movies or, those Killer Alligator or Boa or, whatever, those cheesy ones where the effects aren't that good. But even those, like, if they're good enough, which they're usually not, but let's say they're silly enough, you can kind of watch them, I guess. But effects don't mean anything anymore. The story needs to be there. And Harryhausen, even with the creatures, he did so great with his the storytelling of them. Okay, Sean, what do you think about Harryhausen?
Like I grew up with it. I don't really know what my first movie would have been or when that would have been. Where Mark, we're a little younger than you. We're about 80s kids, right? But at that point, it wasn't really after school. It was more like matinees on the weekend, and preschool they would play them like throughout the day, just to have filler. And there's a local station here that would play this kind of thing, or Hammer movies, or Godzilla, or other things, city TV. So I watched a lot of Harryhausen when I was really, really small. I remember watching Jason the Argonauts with my mom, and I remember certain things like the big old man in the bathtub effect, like Poseidon or whatever. All that stuff is great. Like I just it was always around, and I saw the Sinbad movies when I was a little older, maybe 9 or 10. And then I started tracking down the Mother Goose stuff and everything, because we'd read about this stuff, and it's an age before the internet, so it's like, how do I find it? And in the backs of magazines like Film Facts and stuff, they would have like ads for like someone found a print, or someone found something and dumped it to VHS or something like that. And of course now you could just like look it up on YouTube and But yeah, I just always admired those movies because I recognized that they were great storytelling and colorful fun. In an age when CGI was ruling in the 90s onward, and everything was just the CGI and that was it, and there's no personality in any of the characters or creatures, and there's no suspense in seeing them or like encountering them. Like almost every creature in these movies gets an entrance of some sort of dramatic sting, and that's like absent in most films now. So I feel like these movies stand on their own. I know that some people will be like, well, it's primitive, but like I don't know how you watch this not be charmed. Sure, it's a little jerky and stuff, and I see people on YouTube try to smooth it out. But sometimes, like with the skeletons, it makes sense for them to be jerky because they're skeletons, right? And plus just the admiration. I think people have lost the fact that every single thing you're seeing, all the different personalities of these creatures and everything that they do, is one click, another click, just like moving it slowly.
And one man doing it.
Yeah.
You have an assistant at the end. But
right, but it makes sense for one man to do that because you need that guy's personality. Like he needs to say, now this character is going to reel back and he's going to go like this. And if like 2 or 3 people are at it, they're going to argue, and it's probably going to be like if you have a team of people, which they do nowadays, it's probably going to be the base actions and not anything with any sort of personality, because everyone's going to be like, he walks here and then he roars. It's like, okay. Anyway, Harryhausen's the best. I think a lot of people should be watching those old movies. They should be touted more. I think you're right, Mark. They're sort of going away, and that's sad.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make sure to like mention them all the time and bring them back, because look, CGI. Here's how I know someone who works in the industry. He's currently working on Snowpiercer, which is the Netflix Snowpiercer. So he's working on that. He's in the effects stuff. And the way that the way CGI works, and we know when you see like a CGI segment and you see the people, and there's like 4 million, either Japanese names or whatever, you know what I mean? You're like effects, and it's like if there's like 1,000 Japanese names, you're like, okay, and that's literally one guy who does like the framework and then moves it on. Right. And it's like, okay, he framed up everybody, 3D model, next. And it's like, there's one guy who literally just like will do like shading on the legs. It's like an assembly line. If you ever see those old Kenner where there's this one guy who plugs the thing.
One guy does the same thing over and over, basically.
Yeah. Right. So where's the person?
It's not one person doing like 5 full frames. Your buddy's saying they like someone does mustaches, say, right? But
right. So
and then do it.
Yeah. So
that's
one
interesting.
Guy, right.
Yeah.
So you just move it. It's like think of the conveyor belt. Like, okay, the one guy plugs the thing in the Millennium Falcon, moves it down. Next person puts a thing on, plugs that next.
Yep.
So where the personality gets lost, and this is why CGI stuff, it always seems weird. Like, look, effects are always going to be noticeable, and at least for now. I understand that. Yeah, that's a puppet. Yeah, I understand that's a stop motion creature. Yeah, I understand that's a CGI creature. I can see that, but I'm not as excited about some of the stuff. Like, I always thought that the Harryhausen stuff played better to me. Like, Steve said, and you guys all said, like, the personality of the characters, and like Medusa was creepy, and she was going around and like she's targeting guys, and you're like, oh shit, like it's not just CGI monster of the week, and then like Perseus beats it up and cuts the head, and it's like, okay, we're all good to go. It's like, it felt like a real thing.
Yeah, she's sneaking around. Like anyone else handling that character would just have her growl and roar.
Right.
Like, roar! And a close up, of the face.
And like we saw the I don't know, Mark, if you saw it, but we saw the remake, which was not very good.
And I saw it. Did you guys see the 3D version of Clash?
Yeah,
it was so horrible. The 3D
last minute, yeah.
Yeah, and it was in the midst of that 3D craze around 2010, I think.
And everything was dark.
That.
Yeah,
and it was so dark, and unless you go to an IMAX, I go to IMAX theaters, and the IMAX was semi-decent and 3D get a little bit brighter, but I was watching, it was like you had watching it with sunglasses, plus the movie sucked.
Yeah.
So Wrath of the Titans is awesome.
I like that.
But because Clash of the Titans was so bad, no one watched Wrath of the Titans. But
I don't think I ever saw Wrath.
It's a good myth.
Oh, it's cool.
It's a good adventure film. It's like they took the gloves off and said, let's just do a cool movie. And they did. So that should have been... Well, it should have just been called Wrath of the Titans, release that first. And it would have been
cool. Because then you could have pretended, sometimes I do this, and I'm sure you guys do this, when a movie comes out and it's not really connected to a previous franchise, but you kind of, in your mind, want it to connect. And like, I almost watched Clash of the Titans, the original Harryhausen, and then I'll watch Wrath of the Titans and just pretend it continued from that. And just be like,
does Wrath have Perseus, or is it what's the bones of the story?
It's the same guy. What's his name?
Same guy.
Yeah,
just continued adventures, basically,
and Pegasus and all that. Yeah,
Pegasus.
Although Pegasus is a black horse, not a white horse, but yeah.
Kronos.
The black stallion. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. So yeah.
Yeah, but but the thing is, it's a fun movie on its own, and you don't have anything to compare it to. So then you could just relax and watch it. That's the problem with remakes. You're walking in already like thinking, and you'd think Clash of the Titans would be a super easy remake, because in a generic person's mind, they'd be like, well, just use the same story, update the effects because the effects weren't that good, and the movie's good to go. But actually, they updated the effects, and they were like, okay, but they ruined the story. The story wasn't the same, and he hates the gods. I'm like, yeah, but he's using the weapons of the gods.
Yeah.
But the Kraken really shows the problem in that, like, the Kraken in that movie is just, I can't even remember basically what it looks like, just the shape of it, because it's such a generic design compared to the imagination of the Kraken from Clash of Titans.
They didn't copy. Yeah, they didn't copy Harryhausen's Kraken, but they didn't make the official.
They didn't make a good one either.
So they tried to make this weird in between. He's kind of tentacly.
Yeah. Not really. I just remember just being a big lump, and he's like, raw, and that's it.
Gotta Google it. I totally forget now. Yeah.
The director isn't well known from crafting good creatures. He also was responsible for Abomination.
For ruining Abomination. Yeah.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah, that was not a good version of Abomination in the movie.
No. Okay. Well, for me, I watched it as a kid. Clash of Titans was the first one I saw. I'm positive about that. And then I just kind of caught them where I could, and then I tried to get DVDs and stuff as they came. I don't have anything on. I think I maybe have Clash on VHS somewhere, but then I had to just collect them however I could. So I saw Jason. I saw Seventh Voyage. I think Seventh Voyage, maybe Gulliver, Clash, and Jason were the ones that I saw on TV. I never saw. No, you know what? Sean showed me the Sinbads for the first time that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it. I think, you came over with that set when you originally first got it. And at that point, I don't think I had seen any Sinbad movies, or I'd seen maybe part one and didn't remember anything. So it was basically brand new. I never saw Golden Voyage. That's 100,000% positive. I never
saw the first one, Seventh Voyage.
Okay. So then though maybe I had seen the third one and didn't remember it or something. But for sure, I didn't see those. Yeah, so that was awesome. Did we watch all three right there, or I can't remember if we just did all three.
It was separate days.
It was separate days.
Someone was complaining. Another person.
What's the initial of that person?
R.
R. Oh, is it our friend R?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna
complain
beat that
about
guy
the
up.
acting in Seven Voyage,
Okay,
and then you started complaining about it, and you get it was rubbing off on you, and I was like, no.
Yeah, that's pissing me off now. So
Quiet up front.
Yeah, well, this person will never watch. If I paid this person $100, they would not watch any one of my videos. So, and they're our mutual friend. Anyways, this person sucks. Okay, that said, let's get into it. Let's do it. So first, we're going to talk about the story. This is tough already.
Yeah.
Basically, story and artistry and characters are all going to be really hard. This is all the categories are going to be hard. Okay, the story. I mean, I don't know what to tell you which one has a better story. I mean, they're taken right out of mythology. They're kind of fixed up a little bit, I guess, to make a more interesting movie. But let's start. Well, who am I going to put on the spot first? It ain't going to be. I'm going last on this because I want to get everyone else's thing. Let's put Sean on the spot. Sean, which one do you think has the better story?
Well, they're both fantastic. And I love all the different like story asides in Jason the Argonauts. Like all the setup and everything, and Jason himself learning. Like everything is well crafted. It dovetails neatly because he meets I can't remember the main bad guy's name, but he meets him not knowing who he is, and goes to his camp and sees all the people there. And then one of the guys is his son, but he doesn't know that. But then later on, he puts two and two together because he did meet with the Titans and did piece together. It's funny, they make him very resourceful. He pieces together that the guy he just met that they saved is the dude he has to kill. Yeah. So then he figures that guy from the camp isn't my thing. Then he's probably gonna kill me. So he figures it. So he reveals it at the end. He's like, "You're just gonna stab me in the back." I love all that stuff. It's great. My ding for Jason, if I had to nitpick and ding something, is that it ends too abruptly because you figure the end of the story is he goes back and kills the dude, but the end of the story is he meets up with Medea, and anyone who knows that story, that's not a good thing.
No, she's gonna
she kills his kids and stuff, right? Yeah. So like yeah,
they left that out.
Yeah, it's like. It's for the Jason-averse or whatever. But.
And she's also the actress is also Nona from Star Trek: Private Little War. So so she's gorgeous.
Great as Medea.
And then you've got Pussy Galore, the Bond actress in this. So you've got those two gorgeous. Sorry to interrupt, but when you mention
but she looks like she's up to no good as Medea. But I would say Clash of Titans because like I think the story is pretty good. I like all the setup and everything. And I like the gods bickering amongst each other, which they didn't really show in other movies. That's totally a thing, right?
Yeah.
And you get Laurence Olivier. It's like, come on, right? It's like, I'll do your like, your Puppetoon movie or whatever. But yeah, it's I think my soft spot for Clash is because it does have an end. I just like movies that have an end and follow through. I maybe I don't need that with Jason, but if I had to nitpick, I would say that Clash of Titans has some great stuff in it. I love that he goes into the bedroom, which I guess would be problematic now, and like there's more weird stuff going on. It's like there's a big vulture, and it's like, well, what's this? Like there's a lot of intrigue in it, and then they go to Calibus's domain, and it's like, well, what's this weird place? Like they really interest you in each thing. It's not just a straightforward ABC. I mean, he has to tame Pegasus, and that's a thing, right? And it's not so easy, right? I just think it's all very well wrapped together and interesting. So I would say Clash only because Jason doesn't really end for me. Right. So yeah.
Plus in Clash, just the idea of going to get the head of Medusa to defeat the Kraken, is cool. Anyways, that's like a super. Like comic book.
Was that one witch saying it's like Titan against Titan?
Yeah, exactly. That's why
she's like selling the movie. It's like this is what you came to see, man.
This is what I fucking want, man. I want to see Medusa go against.
One nitpick. I don't know how they know that he has a red sash because he's not wearing it when he comes in. they're like, you must put the blood in the red sash or whatever. Anyways, it's a small thing. It's a nitpick.
Right. Deleted scene. No, okay.
Yeah.
Release the Harryhausen cut. If there's ever any story problems or continuity errors, it's because the studio destroyed the movie and we need the director to have this cut. It's never a mistake. Steve, which one do you think has the better story?
This one's tough. They're all tough. I'm going to go with Jason and the Argonauts. Reason why is because they both start out the same way. There's a prophecy. The hero's going to kill someone. It's tough, Pineapple Pizza fan.
The Hitch. Hold on, the Hitcher icon. You're killing it with your avatars.
I
buddy.
know, man.
Is that the Hitcher? I can't see. It's
He's always got great avatars.
Yeah, you had Exterminator last time. All right.
It's. They both start off with the prophecy. The hero's going to kill someone. Yeah. The hero sent away, or whatever. I think that the bickering of the gods actually. So this is a lot like asking me which story I like more, the Iliad or the Odyssey, because the Iliad is Clash to me because of all the bickering. If you've read the Iliad, it's frigging like Achilles and Hector and all those guys. They're secondary characters. The gods are the main characters. That's why I didn't like Troy, because there were no gods. I'm like, there's no story without the gods. Sorry.
Yeah, you mean just for reference, he's talking about the Brad Pitt
movie.
Eric Bana, Troy film.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. So that to me is that where Jason and the Argonauts is more like the Odyssey with me, where there's this big journey. I like the big journey more because I think the thing with Clash is it's a lot like the Deus Ex Machina, where we're waiting around for the god to do something, and the gods keep interfering constantly. It's not because they're asked to, like they are in Jason the Argonauts, where he's got the 5 saves and he's got to say to Harry, help me get through this calamity. They just keep interfering, right? Maggie Smith just freaking head comes down and she's like, I'm going to destroy the city unless you give me you get Medusa's head or what, or I'm going to send the Kraken after you. So I like more so the structure behind it. I love the idea of the Olympics to determine the crew.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, and I've never seen that since. Usually when they get a crew, it's like whoever wants to come on this crazy journey, who's stupid enough. There's freaking Olympics to find the crew. I love that, and it's just more character driven for me. Jason is the one making the decisions on when the gods interfere. He's the one saying, "I need help to get past the crashing rocks and all that," as opposed to just. It's almost like you have a story where you write yourself in a corner. You're like, "Oh, Zeus does this, and it saves you." And I think that's stronger if you have the human characters make the decisions to get the gods involved as opposed to the other way around. So in that sense, I got to give it to Jason.
So, okay, we got 1 and 1. Is this going to be, is this going to be a problem already? I don't have 5 people.
Yeah, it could be a problem. Yeah, you'll see. Okay. I guess I'm next. Yep.
Before you go, I just want to, so Tim Thomerson from Dollman. I think, Sean, do you own Dollman?
I do somewhere, man.
Yeah,
we have old DVD I have. I don't have.
We have all of the. I have all of the Full Moon movies that you can possibly imagine. I think I might have. I'm missing one.
They need to release full sets and stuff because it's getting kind of dry right now. So
I missed the Puppet Master movie. There's not the newest one or the one before the newest one.
They ship one out every 2 years. So.
Yeah, so I missed the one from 6 years ago. Let's say I missed one of the Puppet Master movies. So
that's what eBay's for.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to have to go to eBay. Okay, Mark. So Clash of the Titans versus Jason the Argonauts storyline. Which one is better?
Yeah, this is really, really, really tough because I think they're both, like you guys said, Sean and Steven, they're both really awesome stories. But I think Steven convinced me. I still was almost going to flip a coin, but the great journey and the travel, all that aspect of all the different quests, it doesn't diminish the Clash story, but I think Jason the Argonauts just a little bit more epic with they've got that huge boat that they've got to travel around. They've got to go through the the smashing seas or all the different things they've got to go through. They're out of water at one point, and then they've got that big fight on the island when when they've got to fight the what's the big monster's name?
Talos?
Talos or Talos. I'm not sure. Always the Greek. Always it's tough to say. Some say it's supposed to be Hera, not Hera, but we'll do our best. But yeah, it's just a really epic storyline, and like you said, with the Olympics, that's so cool to pick the characters, and there's more diverse characters I think in the movie, in Jason and the Argonauts. I mean, it's a tough one, but I think that whole story. Although the ending, I agree, the ending's kind of abrupt, and you know why they cut it, because they didn't want to follow, what happens in mythology. But it's just such an epic story, and I think some of the effects are better in Clash, but just the whole, that whole storyline with that whole journey, and then the political intrigue, and with the king's son on the boat the whole time waiting to steal the golden fleece from behind his back, and there's some good twists and turns there, and I'd have to give the nod to Jason, but it's a very close, really close. I mean, it's not like one where it's you'd say, oh, this is a no-brainer. It's just the epicness and the grandness of the story, I think. And maybe I saw that as a little kid too. Maybe that kind of, I was just so blown away by seeing that whole story and couldn't believe, they were like a group of superheroes to me, like the first superhero team I probably saw, on that crew on that boat, and you got Hercules, so it's you're like, wow, that's actually they have Hercules in the movie. How cool is that? So that was give it a small slight nod to Jason.
Oh my God! Well,
there you go, Jammin. You're in trouble now.
No, I am in trouble because I think I'm going with Clash of the Titans, but I think that's gonna. This is not good. I should have found a fifth person on here.
Get the chat to vote.
Yeah, I mean, Pineapple Pizza Fan didn't do anything, so he didn't help at all. He's just there. I'm gonna say Clash of the Titans. The thing is, Jason. Okay. Both movies have different things that are awesome. First of all, Jason has acquiring guys to go on a mission. That's like if that happens in a movie, that's like almost a 10 out of 10 for me. Like Fellowship of the Ring, when they went and just collected guys, I'm like, oh man, they're collecting guys to go on a mission. I know people don't like Conan the Destroyer, but they're wrong. Conan the Destroyer is cool. He collects guys to go on a mission, and then there's like levels to the mission. I'm like, that's awesome. So Jason collecting guys, and then Hercules is on the team, and he's like, yeah, and he's like throwing the friggin' javelins, yeah, and he's like got the hair and all that. I'm like, oh man, I love Hercules. I almost own, I'd say I probably own like maybe 60% of every Hercules DVD, because there's a ton of Hercules that I wouldn't own at all. But like all Steve Reeves, I got the Lou Ferrigno's, I've got the what's the other guy? What's the other guy? That's the oh my God, my favorite guy from Hercules in the Haunted World, Reg Park, right? So it's like, and the Hercules Legendary Journey. So I love Hercules. Just the fact that Hercules and Jason are like teamed up and going on an adventure. But Clash of the Titans has another thing I like, which is acquiring cool weapons and then going and fighting other guys. So I'm like, damn, because like Perseus getting all those cool weapons and they all do different things. I'm like, oh my God. So it's like two RPG things. It's like two Dungeons and Dragons movies, like happening at the same. I almost wish they could have combined that movie and just have like one guy, like just have that be one movie and that's one guy's journey. So Pineapple's saying Jason Harris because I watched that first. No, that's not an answer. I got to bring up 12 Angry Men. That's no answer. You can't. I need a reason. I think Clash, just because there's like cooler things happening in the ending. I remember I showed Jason to my nephew when I got the Blu-ray, and I thought, oh, this will be a nice watch on the big TV and all that. And it was actually really clear, like it was really nice. And then I kind of forgot because I don't really think too much about the details. I was just like, well, yeah, this is an awesome movie. Then I'm like, oh yeah, should this end? I'm like, oh, that was pretty abrupt. It was weird. I just watched it like last year or the year before. And I'm like, oh, that is weird. And Clash of Titans has like acquiring Medusa's head to use that as a weapon to fight another guy. That's like just too epic. I just can't like you're acquiring weapons and then you're going on a mission, then you're fighting this other guy to win this girl, and then you get her, and it's not over because like you got the girl, but she's dead. So then you got to go on another mission. It's literally a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. So I'm gonna go with Clash. Wow, this is not good. This is not good. We're gonna come back once all this is done, and we'll go back and do a quick, has anyone changed their thoughts or whatever, just because while we're discussing it, you never know, you might change your mind. Okay, let's do the pacing. This is like impossible. Like I can't think of any boring parts to either movie. Oh God. I don't know. Does anyone know which one's longer? Sean, you want to check?
I think Clash is longer than Jason. Jason's an hour and 45 minutes, I'd say, and Clash is about 2 hours.
Yeah, Clash is 118.
Yeah,
18.
I'm cheating because I have the interwebs up, and Jason is actually 104 minutes.
Wow, so it's a lot. It's shorter. This is like impossible. I can't think of any boring parts at all to either movie. I can't even. I'm. Oh, God. I can't do it. I can't say it. I can't say it. I feel too bad. Okay, Steve. Let's start with you, Steve. What do you think while I'm mulling it over?
It's Jason and the Argonauts for me, and
Jason is better paced.
Yeah, it's better paced because of how it's set up. Because it's a quest, he's discovering things. There are no real boring parts in either movie, but the fact is that there's a lot of discovery in that, and it's structured discovery. He comes to the island, and then they're like looking around there, and then like Talos, and then the Icar and all that stuff. They go through the crashing rocks. Like it seems that the beats are more so towards an end journey that is definitive. A lot of people forget about Clash is that they think it's just like going to get Medusa's head and find the Kraken, but that whole journey wasn't set up until like 40 minutes in.
It's an hour in.
An hour in. A lot of it is just Perseus wandering around, and like the gods doing stuff. And that's all cool. None of it is boring, but I like the idea that the setup is better in Jason and the journey's more definitive. So it feels more like because you're progressing somewhere, you get more and more excited as you come to the end. Whereas in Clash, you're not always sure what direction you're going to. You're going to get to the Medusa's head part, but before then, you're kind of like, okay, there's always stuff going with Calabos, and there's always stuff happening with the gods, and there's always stuff happening outside of that. None of it is boring, but it doesn't definitely go anywhere, right? And that's why I'm going to give it reluctantly to Jason.
Yeah, no, you made some good points there. Okay, so I'm mulling it over. Marc, what do you think?
Well, I do have Clash playing on my second monitor again, just having the background. And Steven, you're 100% right. There is a lot of wandering and less, pacing in that beginning part of the story. Although it's never really a boring, not boring pacing. So, and you're right that Jason has all those beat points where they run out of water, then they fight Talos, and they go through the crashing rocks, then they fight the harpies. Then you have that amazing, and then you've got the Poseidon, although it's not stop motion, or is it Triton or Poseidon? I can't remember.
It's Triton.
It's Triton, right? Yeah. And that's a pretty amazing scene too. And I was just watching an interview with Harryhausen tonight, and they said they filmed that at 92 frames a second, to try to get that effect. Yeah. And he said one time the camera exploded, so when he was talking about why they, why they did it, at with a live action versus stop motion instead of and one of the reasons he said was time. To get the movie out faster, but I think we had all those big action scenes, fighting the skeletons. Everyone talks about that, but the harpy fight is pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool too. Yeah,
it's pretty cool too. So I think it's got more big. I'm just trying to remember. But I think it's got more big set pieces. Although again, and going into this, I think I like Clash. The Titans is a better movie, and of course, I got that nostalgia going. It's for my birthday, and I think some of the effects are actually, and some of the scenes are better. Of course, it's almost 20 years later, so even though it's basic technology, I think things have improved a little bit in that 20 years. And the owl Bebo was just so Bobo, how do you say his name? Bobo is just so much fun. Bobo is so much fun. Yeah. So, so he livens up to the pacing, I think. But I'm going to give it to, again, reluctantly to Jason the Argonauts, because I think that structure, all those tasks laid out in order, and there's a lot more going on consistently throughout the movie versus Clash. I think it's more loaded towards the end, although those amazing, the scenes in the end are really incredible. But I'm gonna reluctantly give it to Jason again. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna give it to Jason as well. Yeah, I think you guys have convinced me, because like I was on the fence, but yeah, that I'm not bored, because I just like the idea. I'm okay with like literally Perseus wandering around with like cool items and that he just received, and like it's like he's got no mission. He just finds the girl, and then after that he goes on that mission afterwards. So it's like an afterthought mission. To me, I almost thought of it as two missions. Like mission one was getting all your stuff together and going to find that girl or whatever, and then it's like, okay, now I gotta, I say TCB, which is take care of business, that from Hilarious House of Frightenstein. So yeah, then he TCBs, he takes care of business, so that's cool. But yeah, I think because Jason is set up from the beginning, it's like, it's now where are they gonna go? Yeah. Oh shit, now they gotta fight this guy. Oh man, now they're gonna fight this other guy. So it is a clearer path, and that makes it seem quicker. So I think Jason is the winner. Sean, what do you think?
Oh, I was gonna go with Jason.
Jason, all right.
Because everything that Steve said, the thing is, I was shocked watching this again, because I've seen this a million times, seen Clash a million times. But I guess anyone would probably feel the same when you watch it. It's like, by the time he answers the riddle and everything, and is about to marry Andromeda, you are an hour into that movie. Yeah. It's like what, he doesn't know what he's doing or what he wants to do yet, right? And I get that's the point. Like it's his coming of age, but his mission isn't really laid out. And in Jason, it's like from the beginning, he's trying to kill the dude that that killed his parents and stuff, right? Yeah. So you know that straight off. It's a cheat, I guess, but like what's happening. You know what his goal should be, right? And there's like tons of setup in Clash. As you say, it's not boring. But for the story to get going, like it's about an hour in a Clash, and Jason, it's like, he meets with Titans, he knows what to do, he's like, I'm going to start the Olympics. Later they'll be run by a corrupt committee, but anyway, and it's like, and then Hercules comes and they have that disc fight that's wicked. Yeah. And all that great stuff, and he assembles a crew, and he lays out the plot points. He's like, I'm going to get a crew. I'm going to get a ship. I'm going to go to this place, and so like, what's happening. So it's a better pace, I think, but like, I guess like a more quicker pace, but like if you're talking about which one is more boring, like none of them. So I would say Jason has the better pacing.
All right. Well, you guys are just haters, I guess, of Clash of Titans. That's
right.
Yeah, we hate that movie. Never gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
Even though you literally said they're both awesome and they're both like great films, but you're still a hater. If you say anything negative, you're a hater. Even if it's like I saw a misspelling in the cast list. Oh, you're a hater. No, I'm just
yeah. How dare you?
How dare you point out something negative? Okay. Well, now is the artistry part of this segment. Now, this is actually, I don't even know how to judge this. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to judge this based on the amount of monsters that I like more, that has more of the amount of monsters that I like better. Does that sound like a thing?
Yeah. Monster list.
Monster list. It's just like, I'm just going to say Clash of the Titans for like the simple fact is, it's just like Medusa's the greatest thing ever. The second greatest thing ever is the Kraken. And the third greatest thing ever is Talos. So Talos is third. So he just lost to, the thing is, the Medusa to me literally freaked me out as a kid. And even watching it now, it's still weird. It is the best Medusa easy ever. Like, and I've seen every Medusa that they've ever had after that. And none of them are better. And I'm rewatching the Legendary Journeys, like the Kevin Sorbo. And it's like, Medusa, she's all right. What's her face and Percy Jackson? I like Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a fail. And girl from Clash of Titans remake, she's a CGI person. It's like, she's all right. Like, I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around the fact that we haven't gotten anything even remotely as cool as that Medusa. It's not even like there's a second. It's like, yeah, Harryhausen's Medusa is the best thing ever, period. And there's nothing that's even close to it. And Medusa should be very obvious. We should be seeing tons of Medusas. It's the most obvious thing. Everyone knows Medusa. It's like a instantaneous known property. It's not like someone says the Chimera and then you're like, wait, what was that one again? Or,
yeah.
It's like Medusa. Yeah, I know what it is. And we haven't seen even not even a great one. Like, I never sat there and thought.
He gave her a skill, which was great. It's like, it's not just that she's a monster with a thing and she can turn you into stone. She uses a bow and arrow. Like, she kills dudes that way, without the aid of the it's a bonus.
It's a bonus. And I wanted to do archery. I love the archers, Hawkeye, all that. It's like, I love archery. If you're, except for that Katniss movie, whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Yep.
I didn't watch all those. I got to rewatch those. Except
we're too old, man. It's a giant franchise that came and went. It's like somebody's Star Wars out there, but
I saw part one in the theater.
It was better than the sequels.
Yeah, I saw part one in the theater, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I like archery. I watch archery competitions on YouTube. I subscribe to the archery channel, which uploads. Surprisingly, a lot of archery competitions are going on. But anyways, so just because she has a bow and arrow, I'm like, oh, this
full
is
disclosure, right? Yeah, you're biased towards archery.
I'm super biased. If you're an archer, I like the Hawkeye TV series. It's like, because I look to see if they're shooting it properly. I'm a nerd. I'll be like, is she shooting that properly?
Were they?
She's pretty good.
Okay.
She's shooting it pretty good. It is pretty good.
How about the guy in Arrow?
Yeah, he's all right, but it's a bit too fake. Like, it's like almost like so fast that I can't, like, you can never do this. You have to anchor yourself to understand where, because if you're just holding it like this, it doesn't make sense. Like, you have to, that's why people touch their cheek and the string has to touch your face. So you always pull back to the exact same spot that you are. And then that's where you know where you're aiming. That's your anchor position.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and if you're using like a different kind of bow, like a recurve bow is the normal ones you always see. If you use one of those ones that have the wheels on it, like Rambo, those pull back easy. Those are for accuracy. Those recurve bows, to get accurate on that is like crazy. But it's Green Arrow, and
it's Green Arrow, right? That's a superpower, right? Superpower. Quote unquote. Yeah.
So I'm giving the artistry to Clash of the Titans. I don't remember the music from either one being better than the other one, so I'm not sure about that. The effects, I think Clash maybe has slightly better effects, but nothing that I would say tips it in its favor. I'm just going by the Kraken and the Medusa, who I love. The Skeletons and Talos are killer good too, but so I'm just doing a cheat on that one. So Sean, what do you think?
Oh God. Well, I mean, this is what these movies are known for, right? So
I know this is the category. It's like Michael Jackson. This is it. This is the.
Yeah, I would say that I would say Clash gets the edge. There are more creatures, the edge, and that's you and I think. No one knows what the hell.
Sorry.
It's from Breakin' to Electric Boogaloo. Anyway, I'd say Clash gets the edge. I would say there are some weird choices. I've always been sort of. I mean, I love the look of the stop motion version of Calibus.
Yes.
But I'm baffled as to why they did that, because I don't know why you wouldn't just. I mean, the makeup on the dude is good, and if they just did just that guy in a suit or something like that, it wouldn't be so jarring going back and forth between like close-ups of him, wrestling with Harry Hamlin, and then going back to like the stop motion stuff.
Right.
Beyond that, the look of it is a lot more advanced because it's 1981. It's more atmospheric and everything. A lot more creatures. I love the practical effect of Charon. He's so simple, but like he's awesome, and just even the lighting and everything in that movie, like they light I mean, I know this is like ho hum nowadays, but like it's crazy to think he was lighting the creatures themselves. Like there's the fire at the end where Boobo has that big fight with that big vulture, and they're both lit by the fire, you know, and even like in Medusa's lair, like everyone, including Medusa herself, is all lit by the crazy, like the torches and everything, and that red background and all that stuff. I do remember the music from Clash more than Jason. I just remember it from my childhood, like you know, that big hero music when he comes in at the end. But that's the theme of the whole movie. So I would give the edge. Like, listen, Jason's awesome, and everyone talks about that skeleton fight and everything. Talos,
the Hydra's killer too. The Hydra.
Yeah. The Hydra's great. But just I think Clash. I mean, with age and experience, and just more creatures, I think it's just better art wise.
Yeah, the Medusa scene is killer. Okay, Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one to Clash too. I think part of it's kind of an unfair fight in some ways when 20 years later, the technology's increased obviously, and although it's still stop motion. And I've got the Medusa scene playing on my second monitor right now, and so it's kind of a cheat to refresh my memory again after watching it a bunch of times. But like the lighting and the atmosphere. Of course, my DVD set, the quality is so cruddy on my when I rewatch it today on my big TV. Just I got to get that. I got to get the Blu-ray. Did they do a 4K of any of these yet, or just Blu-ray?
There's definitely Blu-ray. There's like a booklet version of.
There's Blu-rays of all of them. I don't think they've done a 4K. I tried checking like the last week, and I was like, huh.
No 4K, yeah, because I'm a 4K snob now that I finally gotten a 4K setup. So it's like, then I hate that too. You buy like some of these movies I've bought, like on VHS, then DVD, then Blu-ray, then 4K, or then you buy like the the sets, and then you love having all those special editions and all the interviews and
these British
special
sets, which work in they work on our DVD players like Region 1. But this one is Sinbad. But these are great to get if you could find them.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is definitely a lot better quality, obviously, than. But then when you go to 4K, it's just that. So watching Jason today, it's just kind of grainy, and maybe some of the lighting hasn't been, film hasn't been restored properly, and it deserves to be. I think I was, reading some stuff about it today, and I think Tom Hanks was at one of the awards ceremonies. He said, "This is the greatest movie of all time." So. I think when he was giving Harryhausen an honorary award or something, one of maybe it was I could be wrong, but I think it was the Oscars. I'm trying to remember, but the lighting is just so well done, and the camera work in Clash. I think it's takes it that extra step, but just the ambiance. Jason, although the set pieces are amazing, it kind of looks like it's staged in some ways.
Right.
I don't know how to describe that, but it just seems like you can kind of tell they're on set. Stage pieces versus Clash looks much more organic and much more natural overall. And some of that might, like I said, is probably the time difference. But like where they're fighting Talos on the beach, it's kind of Spartan on that beach. Although Talos is obviously the center of attention. It's pretty amazing. And his character is really really well done. And then he's at the end he's dying there. There's a lot of emotion, and so he's really, really well done. But like you said, the monsters and the Kraken is just so amazing. That Kraken, it's just so cool, and like that was another point you make too. Yeah, I don't know why they did the bad guys stop motion in some of those fights, because he just the actor. What was the actor's name? Or I was looking. He did, Neil McCarthy, his Calibos. Yeah, he did a nice job. I thought acting and the makeup looked really good.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised when that's one of the things you could take a few points away from Clash, maybe from that look. But God, Medusa just, too bad we can't play a clip of it, but she's just she's on screen right now on my monitor. What a wicked badass she was. I mean, and seeing this in the movie theater too, it's a cheat too, I guess. I don't know if any of you guys saw this and were able to see it in a movie theater, but it's just so much better on that big screen, blown up, and you're seeing it with all the sound effects. And of course, home theaters are great now, but nothing can compete with a full-sized movie theater. So I'll give it to Clash on that too. So it's just really, really well done.
One of the I'm trying to find. I can't find Jason on here. I know I have it on Blu-ray. This is the Clash of Titans that I have. It's like a book. It's like a Blu-ray, but it's like a book. Is that the one that you guys have?
I still may have the DVD.
It's like a book.
Okay, steel book.
It's not a steel book. It's like a book. Like it has
a book. Okay.
It looks like a book. Huh. And I don't know if you got 20 million miles. That came out on Blu-ray too. And then I got this Sinbad, but then the set that Sean showed. Did you show it, Sean? Or I didn't see if you showed. Yeah, that play. It says Region 2 or something, but it plays everywhere.
It'll play.
No, well, I think it plays on everything.
Yeah, Blu-rays. I think they got rid of the regions, even though they. Is my understanding for most part.
No.
I think 4K they got rid of the regions.
Oh,
but,
4K they got rid. Okay, that's what.
Yeah, Blu-ray. Whenever I see something on my Amazon feed, and it's British, I check to see if it can play. And sometimes someone will say that, and I'm like, okay, good. And those sets, there's a whole bunch of great ones. That and Hammer, they did Hammer as well. Yeah. So
but you got to be careful though, because I was looking at Battlestar Galactica original. And they have a great set in the UK that is all of original Battlestar, all of 1980, all of Caprica, and all of the Battlestar remake show, all of it on Blu-ray.
All together.
Wow.
All together in one mech. It's every Battlestar, Eraser and the Plan and like all of that stuff. Everything, and the original movie too, everything on Blu-ray. But the guy was like saying, he's like, disc 5 doesn't work, disc 6 won't load, shit like that, where some of them work, but some of them don't. So I ended up
in the States or
in the States. They don't work in the States. Yeah. So this is another collection too. This is the early years. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, that's the nursery rhyme stuff.
Yeah. So that's all that
great.
Out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put this back over here. Okay, so Steve, is it gonna be a runaway Clash of Titans, or are you gonna fight for Jason?
Oh no, it's gonna be runaway. Medusa is my favorite. Conceivably my favorite design monster in any movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, she's
like
one of the best things
if I was having a statue of a movie monster, I always allowed one, I would have Medusa. She is like frigging incredible. I love her design. I love how she looks. I love how she moves. There is literally nothing. Yeah, you can't subscribe to me. That's cool. Don't worry. No one can subscribe to me, so we're good. There's nothing. Harryhausen, like, there was no reason for him. I think Clash was his last movie.
Yeah.
There was no reason to continue designing characters because he was never going to beat Medusa.
Yeah, that was it.
So he went out on top.
He hasn't been beaten.
Yes, he's never been beaten.
2022. We're in 2022. The best Medusa is still Clash of Titans.
Yeah. I mean, even stuff like the head falling and then it becomes Maggie Smith's face. Nowadays it looks crude, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
I love the Calabos makeup.
Yeah.
I was jarred too when they kept moving back and forth, but I understood that he's now a monster and the monsters get stop motioned. So I sort of accepted that. The thing with, and I think, Mark, you were talking about this, the fact because we were talking about how great it is, there's inherent advantages when you make Jason a journey, but there's also disadvantages in that a lot of everything looks the same. There's water, there's island, there's sun, there's stuff like that. It looks the locales are different, but it looks very similar. I mean, it doesn't really change that much until you get to the end and you get to the Hydra's lair, because then there's like the caves and stuff. But like the lighting in the Medusa lair is crazy. I mean, it's awesome. And like you get all these different locales. I think the music is better in Jason. I remember it, whereas the Jason one, I don't remember it as much. Clash of Titans, hands down, no question about it.
Okay, for characters, I was thinking about this because we need to decide. I know the monsters are characters. That is Harryhausen's kind of thing. But because the monsters are really the main part of the previous category, do we still include them in the discussion for the characters section, or do we just say the non-Harryhausen characters as part of the characters section? So that's a side thing that we need to decide before we even talk about the character, because to me, the artistry and the characters of, you know, the monsters, that is the artistry of this, right? Mostly. Because both movies like are shot okay, like you can see what's going on, it's clear, the editing is fine. You know what I mean? Like it's the music is like okay, Clash wins a little bit. But do we count the characters of the creatures in the character section? What do you guys think?
I think you kind of have to, right? That's just my opinion. I mean, because that's would overall tilt the balance maybe if you look at the character. But that's my vote is to include them. But
yeah,
the monsters,
you count them as characters and not the artistry of the stop motion.
Yeah. Okay. Steve. Yeah. Are you good with that then?
Yeah.
Okay. So what characters are better? See, this is where I not, because the reason I said that, because this is where I'm having an issue. It's like, obviously Hercules is the damn best. And like Jason's like awesome. So like Perseus is a bit dull. So like, but if we count the characters, like Medusa's awesome. Like, right. So this is why, like, it's like, I don't know what's gonna, it almost feels like Clash for me would almost just take this. But if we're looking at the human people, then like Jason seems to be better for me. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's go. Well, Sean, what do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Jason the Argonauts. Look, I love the creatures in Clash of Titans, but we all like wax love letters to Medusa here, but Medusa's one scene. I mean, she's awesome in that scene. I love the characters of Jason. Like, okay, yes, Hercules. Hylas, the dude that he befriends, and they befriend in such a charming way. It's such a guy boy way. It's like I challenge. It's like, you're Hercules. Well, I have to challenge you. It's like, but I'm Hercules. Like, I'm gonna win. And so he whips the disc at the rock. It's like, well, no one could do that. And it's like he uses his resources, like his resourcefulness. He like skips it among the waves. And he's like, and then instead of getting angry, they're like,
that's
cool. It's such a bro down. Like.
Instead of killing beating up the nerd, right?
Yeah, it's cool. And then they're like friends, and then he's so like Hercules is so distraught that his friend died. Like they don't know what happened to him, but he got crushed by Talos's like chest or whatever. And and Hercules is all like, I can't leave this island until I find him. He's like, dude, he's dead. Let's just go. It's like, no, I must stay. And it's like, oh shit, like that's cool, like that loyalty there. I like Jason. Probably, if I had to pit the two, I think Jason is more personable and charming than Perseus, and I like the I don't know, I like pretty much all the human characters in Jason, and they go a long way for me. And the way they're all set up and everything. So I would say, I mean, listen, like what's his name, Burgess Meredith in Clash is awesome. But I don't know. I do like the charm of the bro down aspect of Jason, so I'm gonna go with Jason.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like for me, Jason's like if you go human people, like Jason wins, right? But I guess Talos is a pretty good character because he's got character to him.
Talos is cool. Calibus is cool.
Calibus is
in Clash.
In Clash, yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd go with Jason as well, just in the sense that like. Jason and getting those guys together is like super pumped up, man. And like, Hercules and like anytime guys like, well, I'm not going to use our term, Sean. But, but you know what I'm talking about.
You guys team up.
When people team up and when they're all for each other, that is like the best.
We're too affected by the mega powers, like
the mega powers. Like when the mega powers form,
we're very young, impressionable. So
I don't care. They're the best. When the mega powers formed and they were shook hands in the middle of the ring, I was like,
they would milk that for 5 minutes. Like, should we shake? Like, anyway.
Do you know who the mega powers are, Mark?
No idea.
Hulk Hogan and Macho Man.
Wrestling
fan. Oh, yeah. Now I'm a wrestling fan, but yeah. Okay. I was thinking like sci-fi, robots or something for some reason.
They kind of are. They kind of are. They may as well be. Yeah, when they teamed up. So So yeah, I love team ups and like when the guy skips it and Hercules is like, yeah, and then they're all like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is the damn best. I'm like, this is awesome. And they go off on an adventure. Then Hercules, and even when I watched it, I'm thinking like, oh, Hercules is too awesome to continue with these guys. He's like, look, I gotta go do my own adventures.
Yeah, and the other guy's like, we're not going without Hercules. It's like,
yeah, I know. He's like our main guy. But then see, this is what I was saying earlier. I then connected that Hercules with the Hercules, Lou Ferrigno, and Haunted World.
Right.
I just pretended that was the same guy. And after he left Jason, he went and did these other adventures that we didn't see.
And he bulked up.
Yeah, he bulked up.
And Lou Ferrigno,
he got a little younger too.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno is like the largest man of all time. It's like he is like, I've seen Pumping Iron about 40 times. I was literally, and I read Schwarzenegger's book. I was obsessed with Pumping Iron. I got the shirt. Anyways, whatever. Like, okay. So Jason wins for me and Sean. Let's go Steve next for characters.
Clash
of Titans?
Yep.
Oh my god. My god.
I get to decide now.
Yeah, I get what you guys are saying. But it's a lot of not similar characters, but it's like the testosterone, laden crew goes off on their journey. And, I think that Clash offers more variety. You got the gods and what they're doing. You got Laurence Olivier Zeus, who like whoever made the decision to cast Laurence Olivier Zeus should have got an Academy Award just for that. Yeah, exactly. Like Laurence Olivier was born to play Zeus. I don't know why he waited that long to play Zeus in his career, but thank God he got to play it because it was awesome. I think that there's a lot more variety in like what the gods are doing. Maggie Smith versus Thetis and all that. That's great. The fact that Calibus, who is this total piece of garbage, and he becomes even more insufferable when he becomes a monster, which I didn't think, like, learn some humility. You got turned into a satyr like God, and he's like even more devious. And he's like getting Maggie Smith, like, the Thetis on his side. I think that's crazy. I think that the monsters have a little bit more character. What J-Man mentioned before with the archery and that, with Medusa and that. I just find that there's more different characters and conflicting characters. You have that constant suspense with Jason to when the traitor's going to, make himself known. But I also found, like, with Jason, just a couple of nitpicking parts. I didn't buy the love story at all. I found it very contrived.
Right.
And I found the king at the end during the skeleton fight was really doing bad mugging, like really bad mugging, like really, really bad mugging. I'm not saying that Clash is like a completely clean movie, but like I think that there's better actors in that movie, and it plays out into what you see on screen.
Okay, so we got one for Clash. We're gonna do this so you guys can so that Mark, before you give your thing, so you can understand where Sean and I are coming from.
Oh, there we go. All right, yeah, I've seen that scene before. Yeah.
And then like
that's great acting. That's so awesome. That's Macho Man. Yeah.
Next day at school, we were like running around saying, "Fucking the mega powers, man! This is crazy!" And then like we're like, and then there was guys who were like, "No, Hulk! I'm with Hulk," and there's like, "No, I'm with Macho." And it was like I remember my one buddy, his name was Vic. He was like Hulk Hogan all the way. If you said Hulk Hogan sucked, he would go mental and beat you up. And then we'd be like walking home, be like, Hulk Hogan baby all the way. And then when we get further, we'd be like, Macho Man, and then we like run, and then we'd run, and he couldn't catch us in time because we were too close to home.
Well, full disclosure, I live near the WWE headquarters, so one of my buddies, remember in the 80s, like his dad came, he's like, I just saw Hulk Hogan in the grocery store. I could see him from like over the racks. He's like, he's so massive, because a lot of wrestlers would live nearby, so people would run into him once in a while. And then, like, I went to WWE headquarters, and like I'm driving the garage. Sergeant Sauter's car was parked in the side
I
there.
got the Sergeant Slaughter figure right there, man.
He's awesome.
Looking
Yeah.
at me. Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter, man.
Oh my god. Okay, so
good times. Yep.
No pressure, but what do you think here? Because
I'm gonna have to tie this up. I'm gonna unfortunately go with Clash because. Oh no! Well, Zeus. I didn't like the actor for Zeus and Jason. I don't know. He just didn't seem impressive enough to me. And you've got Olivier, although I thought Hera was good and was probably better in Jason. But I thought her character it's close, but I think the Medusa, the Kraken is so well done. Of course, the Owl Bulbo is just so awesome. I mean, people accuse him of ripping off, the droids in Star Wars, but he said he came up with, the owl, and it's just got that comedy element to it that I loved. And I think, I was looking at, and Jason, the actor is actually dubbed over. His voice is dubbed over. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys would know why they did that, or the guy didn't have a good voice, or he just wasn't acting well, or do you guys know any reasoning behind that?
Maybe his voice wasn't deep enough or something. I don't know.
Even when I found out Flash Gordon, like Sam Jones was dubbed or whatever, I was like, it's like I'm like destroyed by these things. I'm like, no, like this can't be happening.
They used to do that all the damn time.
Yeah.
And Medea was dubbed over too.
Pardon?
Medea's voice was dubbed.
I know a lot of the Italian sword and sandal, and
I'm too
also
used to that. So
and same with literally all those Giallo movies, like all those Fulci, like they all speak their own language, and it's like this person's speaking German, this person's speaking Italian, this person's speaking English, because you watch like Suspiria. And the girls speak in English. You're like, oh, that's English. You're like, well, she ain't. Like, she don't match. It's like that, like what is happening? And literally, it's just a disaster. Everyone just says lines, and then you're like, oh, we'll figure it out later. And you're like,
figure it out later. Yep.
Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But these were all. I don't know where they were all filmed. Maybe it was just like.
Yeah, maybe those that was an American. Those were two American actors or English speaking actors, but maybe they just didn't like the voice, I guess, right? And then they. Like David Prowse thought his voice was going to be in Star Wars, and he found out, oops, no, we didn't, and which is the right decision, obviously. I can see why you would be pissed,
right? Did you think that they're going to go with that? Like,
but poor guy. But so I think the character, and of course Pegasus is gorgeous to watch fly. The fight with the wolf, what's the two-headed wolf? What's the name of the Cerebus? Thank you.
Yeah, Cerebus
is a cool, really cool scene too. Then you've got the scorpion fight.
Yeah.
In Jason's side, you've got the skeleton scene, which just blew me away. I keep saying blow me away, but what's so impressive about that scene is how the interaction. When the skeleton a couple times flips over characters and. How they're meeting the sword fights, and just watching that interview with Harryhausen was interesting. He said his father actually made the armature of the skeleton for him, the ball and socket, and his dad, I guess, must have done a great craftsman too. And then he sent him the skeletons, just the armature, and then he put cotton and latex over them. He said that's why they survived. I guess the other creatures or models haven't survived because of the foam nature, he said. But he was showing it with Leonard Maltin. It was Leonard Maltin, I think, in the interview. And it's just unbelievable. He had the skeleton right there on the original skeleton from 7 Voyages and the one that was in Jason. And then he made 6 more, and it's just so cool. And that fight, I mean, although I'm picking Clash, I mean that fight, you just rewind it and just keep watching it, and think of how tough it is to get stop motion in both these movies to interact with live action. And he has that sword fight going, and every time an actor is doing something, you've got to get that to match up. So it almost almost seemed totally real to me. It's just amazing. But I think Burgess Meredith's character, what's his I'm forgetting the names. Not Agamemnon. My mythology here is
Agamemnon is the guy from Troy.
Yeah, that's who was Burgess Meredith playing. He was playing how do you say Ammon? I can't pronounce it. But his character was fun, and I think there's a little bit more humor. For the ladies, I think Harry Hamlin, when my mom was enamored with him. I remember, he's very cute. And of course, we were joking before we got on. It's I think Clash is more beautiful ladies, and of course there's brief nudity. Be forewarned, God forbid. So I was, as I said, we went to this was I was just turned 13, so we took all my buddies to see this. So of course that first scene, and I went to Catholic school, so it was pretty, we're quote unquote, relatively strict, and the first scene, the mom is nursing there, and my mom was like, "What? I didn't expect." And then the scene where the priestess walks out, topless, and that scene in Clash. And she's like, my mom was like trying to get her arms up, covering all the guys' eyes, and sitting there, and she was mortified, because this was, you couldn't go to a rated R movie back then with the kids. So it was just, we all like, you guys have inside jokes with, like, my buddies will always joke about that. Like, remember the time your mom tried to block that great view from us? Because, picture being 13-year-old guys, it's you didn't well, shall we say, on the internet things are a little bit easier these days if you wanted to see something. So it's but maybe that's not the best reason, but that's it was a fun thing in the movie. And she apologized to the other mom. I'm like, don't even mention it, she was apologizing. But yeah, I think overall, the characters, and I love that owl. So I don't know if you want to show that link or to the later to the alley.
Let me get that. The link I just posted is for Rob Eggers' Medusa scene breakdown, where he talks about the makeup.
Oh, nice. I'll check that out after.
Check that out for sure. Check out that guy's work, and his stuff. Like he does everything, like Star Wars 2001,
nice.
Alien. Like, he broke down the Alien movies like crazy. So the second link here, that's someone actually made a Bubo, like a proper size. That pissed me off in the remake too, because he's in there.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why would you bother?
Like, fan service, fan service is he's in the movie, not like he's in a thing.
He's in the thing, and then you say it's stupid or whatever. I
do like the origin of Bubo, though, because like that woman has that owl. And Zeus is like,
no,
go give the owl, right? And she's like, F this. Like, I'm not doing that. And then she goes like, you make a robot owl for me. There you go. Done. Yeah, everyone's happy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome, too. It's like, I like the robot version.
Yeah, it's like anyone who argues
robot
that
is so
it's
funny,
just an R2-D2, there was thought put into the story for this. So,
yeah. But and I think I'd rather have I'd probably rather have an R2-D2, but Bubo is awesome too. Bubo can fly and stuff.
Well, now of course they've made R2-D2 fly, right?
Now he can.
But not in the original, so yeah. They'd be good partners together, right? That'd be a good team to have. Yep.
Okay, so the characters is a tie, the story's a tie. And pacing went to Jason, and artistry went to Clash. So this is bullshit. I knew this was going to be hard. This is really hard. Okay, so which
one decides it?
This is what decides it, man.
Unless it's a tie. Okay, what do you like more? Who cares about how long have we been talking? An hour and 20 minutes? Forget the last hour and 20 minutes. What does your heart tell you? Which movie do you just like better? It doesn't matter why you like it better. Why do you just like it better? I'm going to say Clash of Titans. I just like it better. I loved it as a kid. It's my favorite Harryhausen movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I bought the toys. I actually have my childhood toys without weapons. They're beat up to hell. I had Calibus with a broken tail, and Perseus, who's all beat up and like his paint's rubbing off. Then I rebought all 4 of them with their accessories. I tried to buy the Gentle Giant or the Giant. There's like a company that released some of the bigger pieces. I tried to get Medusa. I tried to get the Kraken, but they were like hundreds of dollars, and I just couldn't afford to get those. So I love Clash of Titans. I don't know. I bought the comic books when they came out, and I didn't really care about them. But Clash of Titans wins for me just because I like it. No reason. All right, Sean, what do you think? What do you like better?
The Kraken is $1,500 on eBay. Anyway,
right. Well, Sean,
now went up even more, right? You should have bought it for $200.
So it was like $350 at a toy show that Sean and I were at.
Yeah,
probably like 10 years ago or something. And I said to the guys, like, I was like, dude, is there anything you can do? Like And I was like, he's like
$10 off.
Yeah, it's like he goes. He's like no. He's like it's $350. I was like okay, but just think about this. Is there actually anything you can actually do? He's like no. I'm like all right, fine.
They can. It's just you know how it is, J-Man.
I know how it is. You know, one guy
we sell. Yeah.
We saw. I bought I was missing like 3 or 4 issues of the WandaVision, Vision and the Scarlet Witch miniseries.
Yeah.
There's 2 miniseries for the Marvel. There's 2 miniseries.
12-parter and then the
12-parter, and then there's like a 4. Is there a 4-parter and a 12?
Yeah.
So I had the 4-parter, and I was missing like 3 issues of like the 3 or 4 issues of the 12-parter, and I had the first appearance of the twins already. Like that wasn't one I was missing. I was just missing generic ones. And he had the whole thing, but my copies were really beat up because they're like my childhood copies, right? So he had all of it, really nice package, and it was like $150 or something. And I was like, I said, what's the best you can do? He's like 140. I was like, it's like, would you do 120? He's like, no, I can't. I was like, I literally have 120. I said, either I buy this and I go home, or he's like, all right, fine. So he went, you know.
Yeah, that's your trick, J-Man. You did that last time.
The cash, right? You say I only have 120
like,
cash. Yeah.
J-Man, I'll tell this story. J-Man was trying to get like I think it was the first appearance of New Teen Titans in DC Comics Presents, and they're asking for a price, and J-Man wanted lower, and he took out all the cash in his wallet, and he showed his empty wallet, and the guy's like, this is all I have. And then they said, okay, fine.
Yeah, no, that's what, well, because Sean knows this. I wait till the end of the show. And I'm like, okay,
it hasn't sold. Right, that's what you do.
It's not going anywhere. This shit ain't going anywhere.
And the guy wants to recoup. The guy wants to recoup the show, right? Or he wants to go drinking that night. He wants to go to a strip club, and he's got a lot of cash on hand, right?
Yeah, and he's been carrying this New Teen Titans around for 4,000 years. Nobody wants it. It's DC Comics Presents. I'm the only person on planet Earth that likes that series. It's documented. It's like no one wants this garbage. There's no New Teen Titans TV.
But it's not Teen Titans #1. What?
I have Teen
I know. I'm joking. But most people would think it's Teen Titans #1.
I got #1 actually. Coincidentally, I do have that. And it's like, buddy, nobody wants this. Like, stop pretending it's a thing. just
I'll trade you all my Eternals comics. No, sorry. Yeah. I love Eternals, but just the prices. I'm sure they must have come down. I'm assuming. Or did the price of the Wanda and Vision comics come down lately too, or did that kind of stay?
I had a lot of that, like WandaVision and West Coast Avengers. Anything from West Coast, I already had the first appearance of White Vision. Like I have these off the shelf.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah.
That's why I like WandaVision. It's all kind of the stuff that I like. So just seeing White Vision, I'm like, this is great. You know, like I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just wondering what the price. You know, I'm sure the Eternals has kind of went up, and then now with the movie not doing well. But I wonder how Wanda did. But I'll have to check it out.
I think it's up. Yeah, Eternals went up because the guy was asking a hefty price. I think he was asking $300 or $400 for the whole all 19 issues.
They go down. Well, I'll say this and I'll carry on. But like when the Into the Spider-Verse sequel trailer came out, Spider-Man 2099 #1 skyrocketed overnight. Yeah, which is stupid because I have like 2, but I
had
then,
2. I gave it away.
I sold one.
Yeah. Sold one.
I noticed the other day I was in my local collector shop and it went down again to like $5 because it's like maybe when the movie comes out it'll go up again and stay there, but there was just a rush all of a sudden like, oh, I remember that, and then
Moon Knight and all this stuff, right?
Well, this book, I know we're getting sidetracked, but this book was skyrocketing in value. The Thor #20 has gone up to like $150, I think, or something ridiculous, or because of the I don't know why, but with this new character, it's Mjolnir is a female character, so it's embodied in this. But the price, I'm like, God, maybe I should just sell this sucker right now,
now and then,
until it comes down to reality. But
people like there was supposed to be a show this weekend, which is obviously not happening.
No,
but
I was excited, but.
Yeah, well, actually, our other buddy was excited too. Brother of R, starting with B. He was really excited. He was texting me. I was like, dude, it's not happening. I just kept saying it's not happening. In Canada, we were locked down. And then they just said, okay, we'll move it to March. So they moved it to March now.
That stinks. Yep.
I will have the money in March anyway.
I'll find the money. I always, Sean, you're gonna find the money. Stop.
I know.
Stop it.
I know. Make some crazy, ridiculous purchase. But
yes, I do. You always buy a lot of good stuff. Okay, so I'm saying Clash of Titans because I like it more because that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sean, what do you like more?
I'm gonna go with Clash. I always go with the if I wanted to pop in something fun between the two of them, what would I do? And I would just pop in Clash and like work away and have it play in the background or something. I mean, Marc is doing it literally right now. So I'm gonna go with Clash. Jason's awesome too. Like I would rewatch it just for those bro down moments. I love that. But but yeah, Clash all the way.
All right. Okay. Well, let's go with Steve and we'll end with Marc then. So, Steve, what do you like better?
It's Clash.
Yeah. Okay.
When I think of Harryhausen, I think of Clash. When I want to pop in a Harryhausen movie, I pop in Clash.
Right.
It's just like a wonderland of fantasy and adventure and surprisingly a little bit of drama and all that. It's just it's everything you want in a movie. Nudity. As a ride, as a quest, as an adventure, as a fantasy. It's peerless. Like the monsters are perfect. It's just you never see stuff. It's spectacle. It's what to me. It's what film was made for. It's spectacle. It's what they forgot about nowadays, right? Except for here and there. So
yeah, very, 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 very few here's, more there's.
Yeah.
Okay. Marc, what do you like better? Clash, since it's playing in the back.
We're gonna make this easy. Yeah. So Clash. Love Jason. That's a fond memory as a kid. But seeing Clash, like I said before, I think I said earlier was I liked Clash Better. But not to say I wouldn't love watching either movie either time. But yeah, like Steve said, yeah, I'd throw that in probably more often than I would watch. Jason and just the characters and just the it just looks better. It's a better looking movie today. I think I almost would watch the other one. It's more of a nostalgia factor watching a movie from the '60s with Jason, and it's a good movie too. But yeah, Clash would be you throw that in. Plus, like you said, it does have a couple of pretty ladies in it, and just it's more modern, I guess. So maybe that's a bias of being born our age, but maybe there's some old timers out there say, how can you watch that modern crap, right? But yeah, it's throw it to Clash. Yep.
Yeah, so Clash of the Titans is
release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. Oh yeah, come on. That is the official winner. The story tied. The pacing went to Jason. The artistry went to Clash. The characters tied, and the enjoyment went to Clash. And then the winner is Clash. This is the closest one we've ever had. I kind of was hoping Clash would win, but not because I don't like Jason. They're both awesome. Would it be worth doing the first two Sinbad? Would we agree that the first two Sinbads are for sure better than the third one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, better than Eye Tiger. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The third one is okay, but I feel it's a little bit more pedestrian than the other ones. It's awesome. I'd watch it. But and also the actor who plays Sinbad in that one is really bad.
Yeah.
I
100.
So. Yeah, he's awful. But yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can do something. Ron was asking.
Yeah, the first two were always debated. So.
Yeah, so that might be a good one. I'd have to rewatch them. I remember, like Jason and Clash. I remember those very well. It's like the Sinbads.
It's been a long time since I've watched those. Yep.
Yeah, like Sinbad 1, Sinbad 1, I remember the Cyclops. Sinbad 2, I remember Carolyn Monroe.
Yes, yeah. The best special effect of that movie, yes.
So, and I don't care what anyone says, Star Crash is 10 out of 10. And so is Battle Beyond the Stars, but that's a different.
See, I've watched the Sinbads more than the Greek ones. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. How about the Lou Ferrigno? We got to do the two.
I've seen them so many times, but yeah.
Or Arnold as Hercules. Wasn't that his first movie? Was Arnold as Hercules?
Yeah. Hercules in New York.
Hercules in New York. Yeah.
Well, but the two Hercules, Lou Ferrigno.
The two Lou Ferrigno. He punches a bear into space.
Yeah. Marc? Have you seen Hercules in the Haunted World with Reg?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can loan it to you through certain means if you require to see it. But it's Mario Bava. It is It is so wicked. Like it's old, yes, but like the colors. So Christopher Lee is the villain, and he plays like a vampire, and Hercules fights zombies and stuff.
Wow, what's this called? Hercules
in the Haunted World. I actually have the poster for it. It's my favorite.
Cool.
I'll show you what it looks like. I got the blue. I have so many copies. I actually bought doubles of this movie on DVD, and then I got the original poster, which is like it was like different cardstock because it was like a longer poster. That's the.
Cool. Okay. Yep. Look that up.
You can very easily find it, or if you need it, I can get it to you.
Thank you.
It is so.
I'll have to check
awesome.
that out. Yeah.
And then Reg Park also did Hercules and the Captive Woman, which is pretty good too. But Mario Bava literally did all this weird lighting. It's psychedelic. He goes into Hades, and it's just the lighting and like the creatures. It's so weird. And Christopher Lee is the villain, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. This is awesome, right? Like this movie. I know you guys have seen. I literally I used to pause this movie and draw it. Like I would pause it and just draw out scenes and like just for fun because it's like I just love it. I know it's not Harryhausen, but it's in sort of that family of.
I'll have to check it out. Yep.
Fun kind of things.
Well, the other fun movie I love is Thief of Baghdad. It's not
yes,
totally different genre, but I don't know if you've ever compared that to another movie or I don't know how you'd compare what you compare it to, but Aladdin, no, but
I was thinking like that would probably be the most comparable one, right?
Yeah, but that's a great, the special effects back then. My dad was born in the 30s, so like that was his. Like I remember it was playing in a library in our town. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna go see this old movie." It was like favorite movie as a kid, and seeing it in the 70s when I saw, those are another old movie with really amazing special effects. So that's another, when you kind of overlook the classics, maybe people don't watch. That's another favorite old movie.
Well,
Criterion.
I was gonna have my intro be. I was gonna take Cleopatra's intro from Cleopatra, which is like 15 minutes long when she enters Rome, and I was gonna put my face over top of. And literally, I'm like, but it's actually like I don't know if it's 15 minutes, but it's pretty damn long.
Yeah,
and it's the longest. Like when she enters, it's like.
Well, they're paying her enough money for the movie, right? So,
well, sure. It's like that was how they got her on set. No, but like it's like this entrance. I'm like, man, I gotta do this for like my channel and put my face at the end. So it's just me. It's like elephants and like a party, and I'm like, but like, yeah. I mean, we should talk. Army of Darkness is in my top 10 favorite movies, and that's got the Jason skeletons.
Yeah.
It's not even hidden. It's just like Sam Raimi's like, yeah, these are the Jason skeletons. Like whatever, I don't care. And I remember when I saw Army of Darkness, I was like, oh my god, there's like an army of these skeletons now. It's like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I like the one thing about the skeletons we were talking about, like one voice, like one guy doing all this and imprinting personality on things. When the skeletons charge, there's one skeleton that trips over himself and falls, and then he comes back. He's like on the right side of the frame, and then he comes back to the fight. Yeah, and there'd be no way that like a team would do that. A team charged with the task of creating skeletons that attack the heroes would just have them attack the heroes, and then that's it, right? But it's just I always notice that one guy is like, "What the hell?" It's like, "Get back in there, man!" It's like and he picks himself up and he goes back. That's great, man.
You're
court-martialed, yeah.
Well,
I don't want to die again.
It's more realistic, right? Because like it's like when the stormtrooper banged his head off the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but they're not all coordinated. One of them is probably going to be clumsy, and this is the guy who it is. Like, like I like stuff like that. It's like Land of the Dead. There's a scene where like Dennis Hopper's like, I don't know, he's picking his nose or something. And I'm like, yeah, like people do that, I guess, And,
it's dry out there, man.
It's little.
Are we still? Wait, are we still on it? No, just kidding. No.
Yeah. You shoot away. It's like zombies. No, and it's like those are the little moments that that make a person like more, use one of Sean's favorite words, verisimilitude, right? Like it's realistic.
Nobody ever flubs their dialogue because like nobody, like I mess up what I want to say, or I stutter, or I can't think of what to say next. No one ever does that in any movie ever. I don't think I've ever noticed that, except for maybe Big Lebowski, where like the dude can't say certain things, or he's just like trying to say something, he just can't say it. He's like, like things have, like
but careful what you wish for. That whole genre is called mumblecore, and those movies suck. So.
I'm just saying, I'm not wishing for it. I'm not going to waste a wish on that.
Like people always say that, and then you watch a whole movie where everyone talks about it and say, "Oh my god, please turn this off." But
well, that's why I always like Jeff Goldblum as an actor, because Jeff Goldblum would go,
Yeah, he does do that.
And I like that because that's normally how people like, it sounds too rehearsed. I was watching Back to the Future the other day. And like Marty's talking to Doc Brown, and there's no real like, you don't have that pause where the person's thinking of it. It seems like they know the lines instantaneously and they're just like shooting it out at each other. I sat there and I'm
telling me that this sucker is nuclear? No, this sucker is electrical.
Like the back and forth is very quick, and it if you think of the normal cadence between how people talk, it wouldn't be like that.
Well, it's not, as long as it's not Dawson's Creek or Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore
Girls is the worst thing
I didn't see Gilmore Girls, but like Dawson's Creek was impossible. I'm like, no one talks like Dawson, like no one.
It's really
Gilmore Girls is like everyone talks like a Teddy Ruxpin on car batteries. Like, everyone's like mega quick, and like and they're into things that like those characters probably wouldn't be into. Like they're really into like Billy Jack. It's like.
Right.
You know what Billy Jack is? I don't know, because I do, but I got
we
the
should do Born Losers.
Never seen the show, so I can't vouch.
Yeah, my wife was totally into it, and I bought her. I'm looking at it now. I bought her the giant box set with the handle on it, for
Did
like
you ever watch it?
Christmas or something, and she watched it multiple times.
Good.
And I watched it multiple times as a result, and my brain is permanently damaged. So
I would never think of going to a Gilmore Girls expert, say, let me look up Sean and ask him some Gilmore Girls.
I've seen Friends like 4 or 5 times over because my wife watched it so many times. But she's seen Star Wars 4,000 times, so I can.
You've gotten your revenge too, right?
Yeah.
Well, she really likes Rogue One. I think Star Wars, Rogue One, Star Wars, and Empire are the ones that she really likes. Like those 3, and then she doesn't really care about anything else.
Okay.
She thinks Jedi's okay, but like that's literally like Jedi is okay, and that's it. She can't like the sequels, no, and she doesn't care about Star Wars. She's just like didn't like.
Yeah.
It.
My wife's
weird,
the same
right?
way. I could care less. Yeah, just see it once and that's it. Don't need to watch Star Wars again unless Marc puts it on. Yeah.
Well, she loves Rogue One.
Rogue One's good. I like Rogue One. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. I think in retrospect, I'm just guessing people now because Disney Star Wars is so unpopular, they're picking on Rogue One, and I'm like, well, when I came out, everyone really loved it, and I don't remember hearing the hate on that much on Rogue One, but and I enjoyed it. So
it didn't.
Yeah, I beat up everything episode by episode. Like I'm going one by one. If I like this, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I don't care what anyone says, and I've seen everyone's opinions on both things, or on all things Star Wars, and I see the the tweets or whatever people say. It's like I don't care. If I liked it, I liked it. That's it.
Yeah, it's like people have rose-colored glasses on the old Marvel comics. It's like, look, I love them too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're good. It's like I love them. I have almost all of them. I read them all the time, and we all read them every month as kids. But they're not good. They're not good. So it's like everyone else. A new Star Wars thing comes out, I try it. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not, more often than not, it's not. Then that's what it is. But I'm a moth to a flame for Star Wars. So.
Yeah, my whole thing has always been heroes, villains, story. That's what my heart tells me. Not this. Like I know I have my little space thing that I do, but like if I watch it and I like the good guys and I'm with them and they're on an adventure and this is cool, that means it's going to get a pass. If the villains are also really good, then that's even more awesome. And if the story is also really good, like Star Wars, Empire, I like Jedi as well. Those, all three of those. I like the heroes. I like Luke and Han going on adventures. I like Lando. I like that. And the villains in Star Wars are awesome. The Emperor's killer. I love Darth Vader. And the story is really good too. Star Wars is awesome. That's literally my rating system. It's like, you can say, Mandalorian. It's like, well, I like the Mandalorian. I think he's badass and awesome. I like Cara Dune. I think she's great. The villains, they're okay. The story is okay, but I like the heroes. I like the villain. I like the main guys. So Mandalorian's good to me. That's it. That's the simplest review I could possibly do. It's like, it's called The Mandalorian. Do I like The Mandalorian? Yes. And his side characters are good. Okay. And then then you can nitpick, oh, I don't like this, and this was boring. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, it's like, look, is The Mandalorian awesome? Yeah. Okay. Well, what else do you want out of this? It's like, it's not like the sequel trilogy where it's like the main heroes aren't that good, the villains aren't very good, and the story's not that good. So there's really nothing to latch onto. You could say, well, there's some cool fights and it looks cool. It's like, yeah, but again, every movie looks cool. Every movie has cool fights. If I don't care about the heroes, what am I watching? That's why I love Superman 3 and Superman 4. Christopher Reeve is the best. He's Superman. Well, the story wasn't that good. Who cares? I mean, I care, but it's not better than Superman 1, but it's Superman,
Yeah, all roads lead to Star Wars, apparently, because
everything leads to Star Wars because
there's a good or bad,
There's a new issue, there's a new episode of Boba Fett out now.
Yeah,
or,
it is.
Yeah.
There's a new episode of Mandalorian up. Yes.
Yes, it's Mandalorian.
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, Mandalorian. Boba Fett's not in it. It's the Mandalorian.
The entire thing is Mandalorian.
Yes.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, the entire
Boba
thing is
Fett's
the Mandalorian.
nowhere in this episode.
Wow, I was joking about that, but yeah, okay. I'm psychic. I can play the lottery tomorrow.
I thought it was awesome.
It was awesome
because you heard the music. You heard the music at the end of the 4th episode, the Mandalorian's theme. So
yeah, and it's this one's called The Return of the Mandalorian. If you haven't seen it yet, then I think you're going to be. If you've been liking Boba Fett, this is the best episode. But it's all Mandalorian, so
yeah. So maybe I just like Mandalorian.
They're trying to just undercut the entire thing. They're like, "Here's the really good stuff." It's like, but it's a totally different series.
And it's like,
I don't know. I hate to say this, but like Boba Fett's my boy, but I'm kind of liking Mandalorian more, right?
Yeah,
he had more setup. I mean, even the Kim's Convenience guy is in this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like. Sure.
It's you know what I'm discovering as I know this is totally off topic now on the stream, but
it doesn't matter. We decided Clash of Titans wins. If you're still watching,
you can stop watching.
You can stop watching.
10 minutes ago.
We're just gonna talk and let it run.
I never say this because I don't like saying it because people always say, I don't understand why we have this thing or why we have this thing, and I don't like that because I say that I could say about anything. Did we need a Back to the Future 2? No. Did we need a Godfather Part 2? No. Did we need anything Part 2? No. So I don't like it when people say there's no purpose to that. But I'm starting to feel a bit like that with Boba Fett. Like he's wandering around, and I'm like, where are we going with this? Like, I'm not like angry. I'm not like, oh, screw you, Boba Fett. You never should have done this series, but. This is starting to feel a lot more like Disney saying, we want some of Boba Fett.
We need a Boba
Fett. No Boba Fett. Write some of Boba Fett. And as we've seen with The Matrix and as we've seen with Pirates of the Caribbean, when you force someone to write something because you want to use the IP, Fantastic Four, it sucks. And this is what it's starting to feel like a bit with Boba Fett.
This was the point I was making with Resistance. Yeah. It's like people are like, oh, anything Filoni does, like, whoa. Have you seen the track record? It's like he's not a terrible, but the thing is, when he's told to do something, like Star Wars Resistance is bland and bad, and it's developed by Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
But they told him we have this new sequel trilogy. It's like we need a cartoon that ties into it, just like Clone Wars tied into the prequels, right? And then he's like, fine. So he made a thing and it sucked. And it's like there's no heart in it. And it's like they don't do anything, the characters. So it's like this felt to me by maybe episode 2, like they were told to make a Boba Fett thing. And they're like, well, all the ideas we're going to have for a Boba Fett movie are in Mandalorian. It's like, I don't care, make a Boba Fett, whatever. So they make this show. And it's as aimless as their thought pattern for it. So I don't
what's
know.
Boba Fett's motivation? Why does he want to be on Tatooine?
Well, that was my question.
Yes, he's got a spaceship. He's like, once you go to a place that's a little bit nicer, he's a quote unquote retiring now. Almost, it seems like it's like, once you want to be somewhere with a better climate and not everyone trying to kill you, and doesn't he have plenty of money at this point in his career? Wasn't he the most fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. So, and then I think his character always taking the helmet off and always talking. I saw some interviews where he was the actor's name. Tomorrow, was complaining about some of the like the Mandalorian is more economical. He's not talking as much, and he's kind of just acting through what he's doing physically, and not removing there's like a mystery to the character. And Boba Fett, he was in that horrible Christmas episode. We had that one good thing about it was like Boba Fett cartoon, and but then he was always a mysterious character, but he never really did anything in Star Wars, right? He gets his ass kicked. So you wanted to see him maybe if they'd gone further in the past. Like I would have loved to have seen Boba Fett, like, his career before in that time period in Star Wars, like, capturing people or doing things in the past, further in the past. Let's see him being a badass, and then we know how he's going to end up in the Sarlacc pit. And then you could have him, leave the pit and then do something else. But that whole thing with the sand people, then they kill off the sand people in 5 minutes, and that's it. That whole arc is, you're building up an arc, whether you liked it or not. At least have some effect out of it, or have some of the characters survive. But then the sand people are gone. That's it. It's like, wait a minute, what just happened?
I love Boba Fett as a kid. I still have my childhood Boba Fett toy. I had Slave One. That was the only ship I had from any Star Wars movie. So I love Boba Fett flying around, all that. And I remember being disappointed that he's not in Jedi and that he gets killed right away and falls in the pit. And I was like, really, this sucks. And that kind of like annoyed me. But I love Return of the Jedi, and I love that entire Jabba the Hutt scene. It's just so it's like a mini movie on its own, right?
Yeah.
But I was okay with just letting Boba Fett be in those things, and then that's it. If that's what it is what it is. And then when they went back and they added him, in the special, I can't stand the special editions. I was going to do a video on this, and I'll say it right now. I might still do a video on it. The only person that ruined Star Wars was George Lucas. Yeah. And the reason he ruined it was that he took the real 3 movies and altered them. This stuff, I can't stand J.J. Abrams. I can't stand Rian Johnson. I had this perfect solution. Don't watch those movies.
Yeah. Man, let me blow your mind for a second. Yeah. We are the last generation to call those movies special editions. Everyone like after us calls them Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And I've seen millennials like react, and I watch those. And when they react to the Star Wars movies, like the original ones, it's those special editions, and then they say, "Oh, the special effects are so good in the '70s." Like, no, that's you're changing history this way,
Right?
Yeah,
it's like bad plastic surgery.
Yeah.
The only person that ruined your childhood, ruined Star Wars, is George Lucas, because he changed the movies you grew up watching and loving. I've got the VHS that I watched 100 times right behind me over here. This other crap of all these other people ruined all these other things. Who cares? It's like you can just ignore those. Right now I own Clash of Titans in remastered Blu-ray, all the Sinbads. How come I don't have the remastered, perfect, regular Star Wars edition movies in surround sound 7.1? Why don't I have that? That's all I want. Once I have that, I can rest easy. And that can be like, okay, and I know they got 4K 77 out, 4K 80s out now.
Fans have to do
it. And that Fred Blu-ray dog, he's got the despecialized ones out on Blu-ray. I have those. I bought it from. Who cares? It's like I can watch them. And I did buy the DVD that had it as a second disc.
But it's like this.
But it's like this. It wasn't anamorphic widescreen.
Yeah, it was a horrible edition. It was
a horrible edition. Right. It's a laser disc.
It wasn't worth buying. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Fans version are better. Yeah.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind if Lucas had done some minor tweaks, like cleaned up the special effects. There's a difference between cleaning things up and then when especially the first time you go to Mos Eisley, there's all those creatures and the dewbacks. It's like maybe if they'd added one or two, he went. It's like me, I go overboard with stuff. It's like you're the kid in a candy store and you just went overboard with the CGI. Now, some of that CGI hasn't aged that well.
No,
and he didn't, and he, like you're saying, didn't give you both. Like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
and he both.
You can say, and you can flip the DVD or Blu-ray. You can go old or new. And I personally like the new effects. I think they were tastefully done and not over the top. And and they didn't add anything. The only thing I would have liked, maybe 10 or 15 more minutes of the Doomsday Machine destroying stuff. But other than that, the effects are, or like they'll change the dial on Sulu. When they're traveling through time, they'll make it more of like a digital look, but tastefully done, like a retro look. But Star Wars, I did love going to see that special edition in the movie theaters. And my wife, it's another story I always tell, like it was all sold out everywhere. This is before you could buy tickets online. So the women, the wives went in, and they're like, there was only one show left. It was like at 11:30, and they were both joking, like, well, we could have come out and told the husbands that it was sold out. And they actually bought the tickets, and we had like a dinner, and then went to a bar, and so we had to wait like 3 hours, and then we're watching the movie. And my wife is like, this is too loud. And I'm like, well, spaceships are supposed to be loud, because it was, the sound was sound guy probably turned it up to 11.
Sure.
And it was a great experience in the theater and to see it. But then now that, the more that you watch it, you're like, why did he add all this, crap to it? And then of course, then I turned to my friend, I'm like, with Han, and we're both Star Wars nerds. I'm like, wait, what did they do with the scene with Han shooting? Did Greedo just shoot, or what happened?
I didn't even understand. I couldn't even visually tell when you see something so many times, and then you see it. This happened with the Donner cut. When you see another movie so many times, and you see an alternate version, you're a little bit discombobulated.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, and I didn't even get what happened. I'm like, wait, did something change? And then you just forget because you're right into the next part.
Yeah, then I asked my buddy, and they're like, stop talking.
And you're like, what happened? And I didn't really pick up on that until you saw it at home. And then I'm like,
when you're home, you watch it, you can really pick it up. And then my wife fell asleep during the Star Wars. She was so late for her. She fell asleep.
They had Boba Fett there, and I'm like, well, why is he here? Like, everyone's like, yeah, it's so cool. So that pissed me off. And then Jango Fett, I'm like, wait, why is there a Jango Fett? And then I'm like, why is he a clone trooper who's just like a baby clone trooper? I'm like, what is this? So Boba Fett has been systematically broken down in film since Jedi, right? And it's like, and now everyone's like, well, they're ruining Boba Fett. For further examples of the ruination of Boba Fett, see everything that came after Empire. Right? Like this is this thing where everyone catches on late in the game. It's like Transformers 1, that's my famous one. Transformers 1, I sat there, I'm like, this is piss, it's garbage, it's shit, everything sucks. The dialogue's garbage, Optimus Prime loses in the end, Shia LaBeouf defeats Megatron, this movie sucks.
Optimus Prime has flames, enough said, yep.
Yes, right, that's dumb. So I came back to my job, and people were like, oh, that was a great movie. I'm like, really? And then this one guy's like, I loved every second. I said, did you love the second where Optimus Prime was laying down like a stupid loser and Shia LaBeouf defeats Megatron? I'm like, was that a good second for you of this movie? And then all of a sudden, part two, everyone's like, this wasn't that good. It's like, yeah, for further examples, see the first movie that sucked.
Yeah, Bumblebee pisses on John Turturro.
It's like
in part one, it's like,
although the Camaro scene, I guess that the girlfriend fixing the car is probably one of the best. That's one of the best scenes in all of the movies, right? I was watching Superman and Lois last night. They did it again with like the girlfriend removes an air cover. If you've ever seen the John Cusack movie, Better Off Dead, with the ski when the French girlfriend, like, they always have those montages where they fix the car in like 2 seconds and like you're doing nothing. So like the girl, of course, the dad can't fix the car for like weeks and weeks. And she takes off the air cleaner. There's this gorgeous Edelbrock perfect carburetor, looks brand new, all chromed out on the car. I'm like, wait a minute, this is 70s Camaro. If they're fixing it up in the garage, they're not gonna have this gorgeous carburetor on it. And then she like doesn't do anything, and of course, poof, the car starts. But
of course,
that kind of stuff just drives me crazy.
They just need a woman to do it, right?
Yeah.
That if you're a car guy, or like I'm not a car guy, so I didn't know what was going on there. I'm just like, okay, I guess she fixed it. So it's like, but if you know stuff like that's what I'm saying with the archery. If you know stuff and they're doing it wrong, you can't unknow it.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, like she's like, check the fuel filter. So if you're going to check the fuel filter, what you do, disconnect the hose from the carburetor, and you take the filter, and then you put it into like a bowl, and you say, turn the key. Let's see if the fuel is coming
so
out
none of that
through the
happens.
hose. Like, yeah, she just like, you just need to do. And she takes the air cleaner off, which does nothing. Sorry, I'm just like, yeah,
right, yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, it's like, you know what, don't have that scene. Why don't you just have them, bonding over some other thing or whatever? It's like, why does that have to be? And the reason they have it there is because they want to go against type and be like, look, this girl understands cars. It's like, I get it. You're going against type. Pat yourself on the back. You've done a wonderful job. You've cured all the problems of society. Everything's wonderful now in this world. It's like, or who cares? Like, just have a conversation. Can't they just be having lemonade on the porch and they're talking about stuff or something, or maybe reading a book? Something that everyone can do, promote reading a book. Hey, what are you reading?
But you can do that scene if you do it. This is all movies too, so not just Superman alone. They always have that cliche, and of course they're saving money and time. But it's like, try to add a little bit of verisimilitude, as you said, or realism to it. It's like, God, I wish my '67 Mustang, all I needed to do was change the air cleaner, and then it went.
Well, what I think probably just happened is the executives at the CW saw the first season of Superman and Lois and went to the showrunners and went, what are you doing? This makes sense. This is, this isn't pissing anyone off. You got to change this stat. And that's what we're seeing in season 2.
Have you watched most of the season 2 yet, or Steven?
Yeah, I've seen everything. And yesterday,
that was the kind of impression I got. I've watched it. I've only seen the first 2 episodes because I'm CW app. You have to wait a day to stream it, but I haven't seen the 3rd episode. But and the whole worldview of Superman, that was kind of getting me angry too. But that's kind of where the modern comics are going, where Superman doesn't want to support he's not an American anymore. He's a citizen of the world. Versus, which I can see in some ways. Yeah, he's not gonna, once you get Superman into real world politics and, things like, if Superman could could basically take over the world, right? I mean, he could do whatever he wanted. So with that American upbringing he's got, you want to keep those core values, but it's just some of those speeches, you could tell, that's what they're, trying to. It's like, I'm not going to work with the U.S. anymore. It'd be different if you had let's have Superman go overturn, Putin in Russia, say, right? Maybe I could see where Superman would say, I'm not going to get involved in world politics. But then once you broach that subject with the character, where do you stop it? Because then, Superman could stop every ill in the world, basically, right? So that's why you kind of want to avoid getting into that area, I think, to begin with as a character, because you open up that whole can of worms of, Superman would never be able to sleep or have a life, right? He'd be circling the globe, preventing every, rape, robbery, mugging, horrible thing that could be happening out there. So that's why we like kind of the fantasy aspect.
Well, what this show is teaching me this season is that if a man makes a mistake, he should pay dearly for it. And if a woman makes a mistake, she should be forgiven for making a mistake. That's what I've been learning.
Yep.
Good. Now you're prepared to go to any modern university.
I feel ready. I'm good.
You're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm still reading the Superman comics, right? I collect them. I haven't missed any. Action Comics, in the comics, he's on Warworld now, so that's fine. I'm still collecting and reading the Son of Kal-El, which is the current one where he's bisexual, and it's like, look, it's not so bad, really. It's fine. But the problem is that you're not leading with the cool stuff. So I saw an article on Facebook, and I responded to this, and this guy tried to chew me up, but he lost instantaneously. So Superman and Lois are like, oh, there could be a love triangle, developing. So I responded to that saying, I remember, loving, these love triangles when I'm reading comic books. I'm like, or wait, was I more excited about the action and sci-fi elements? And then somebody's like, well, this happens in the comics, there's relationships, and he's trying to call me out now. And I said to him, it's like, look, you don't lead with that. Of course, there's human beings in comic books. There's human beings in stories. So there's going to be relationships. There's going to be friends and lovers. That is something that's going to happen. But that's going to happen in every movie, in every genre of every kind there is, period. I said the way you lead your advertising campaign is you lead with the strengths of what you're presenting. So a horror movie trailer is going to show you, hey, look, there's going to be scares. There's going to be kills. It's Jason. Oh my God, no, it's Freddy. Oh, Michael Myers is killing everybody. You're not going to talk about the relationship between Laurie Strode and her daughter. We know that that's going to be in there. You don't lead with that as your advertising campaign. Superman is a science fiction, fantasy, action character.
Yeah.
That's what you lead with. You have to be like, look, do not miss the Son of Kal-El issue 6 because fucking Superman's taken on this giant robot. Holy shit, right? They're not leading with that because they don't have that. They're leading with, oh, this is going to be the first bisexual kiss. It's like, okay, what does that have to do with anything?
It's the Ellen effect. It's when Ellen came out on her sitcom.
Right.
And it just became about that. And then gay rights groups came out and said, whoa. It's like it's too much of that. We like it that the character is just a character who owns a bookshop and is a working member of society who's also gay.
everyday person, and just accept them
not
who they are. And
every single episode is I'm gay. It's like, yes, we get it now.
If it's a well-written character, it's a well-written character, and it's something that is a really interesting thing to they've done that with the FF with Franklin Richards, age him forward so they can do different stories. So it is a new character, so I guess they're making him bisexual. But if you write good stories and tell good stories and make the characters heartfelt, but then I've been collecting action. I don't have wasn't buying that series, so I can't say whether it's good or bad. I guess Jammin, you said it's not maybe as bad as some of them. It's fine, right? Yeah. Like once you've got him fighting, global warming, say, then where does Superman draw the line in terms of that famous, the Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow by Alan Moore is kind of depicting the end of Superman's career. And one of my favorite issues I got as a kid was the Treasury edition DC, where it's Superman gets Jimmy Olsen takes a picture and some kryptonite gets stuck somewhere in Superman in his costume, so he thinks he's dying. Or no, Jimmy Olsen had the kryptonite in the camera, I think, so whatever. But the effect was he thought he was dying, so he's going around, he's irrigating all these places in the world, he's fixing different, like it was like Superman trying to fix all these real world things. And then he leaves a message on the moon to say with his heat vision saying, I'm Clark Kent and goodbye and thank you. And then, of course, he finds out what's happening, so he has to go erase that on the moon. But it's a great old, I can't remember the issue number that was in, but I just loved it as a kid. Of course, you had the Treasury, which is that huge edition.
Giant,
you just keep reading it over and over. But it was like Superman doing all those things that like he would never would do because, you couldn't get involved in that. But this was supposed to be like a final episode of Superman. So that's where I was saying, agreeing with you with the space fantasy and the fantasy aspects and the supervillains. Once in a while you can get a message in there, but if you just lead with that message when it's not organic to the story, then it can take away from that message that you're trying to get in and to promote.
Yeah, the writers of the Son of Kal-El stories seem to not understand the point of Superman. Superman was always, and the movie emphasizes too, but he doesn't get involved with bigger issues like that because then humanity never learns anything, right?
I want to mention something after you say that.
Yeah, like I read this interview with the person who's writing Son of Kal-El, and he seemed to not understand the character at all, even going so far as to say that Superman can't get involved with stuff like global warming, etc., and social issues because Superman wasn't born on Earth, and that Superman was because of Crisis. But I mean, the editor should even point that out. And number two, what you're saying is that you're xenophobic, that because someone isn't born somewhere, they can't talk about the ills of that place. If you moved to like Canada or America when you were 6 and you grew up there and you're a citizen of that country, you can get involved. I don't understand the problem here. It's just a strange way to approach the material. And I think that's what really rubs me the wrong way with Son of Kal-El.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crap. So I'm on the
and I can put my thoughts into words. I don't know what these other assholes are doing.
Yeah, and so I physically bought the first few issues, then I moved to digital because I just don't have space and it's not a comic that I care to keep. So but I have been buying the real. I'm not pirating. I don't pirate comic books, period, ever. I buy them digitally or I buy them in physical, but I pay. So I've been paying for Son of Kal-El. The latest issue that came out, he's got like a climate change protest.
That's the cover I saw. Yeah,
and I'm like, are you guys for real right now? And literally, my wife.
Why is that the cover? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so my wife
I
is
want to
like,
buy
well,
this.
it's like if he wants to do something, can't he just go do it? I'm like, right.
Well, plus the Kryptonian technology, couldn't they solve that probably, or
yeah,
did he do
that's what I'm
something?
saying.
Or
yeah. And instead of focusing that, if you say, okay, my Superman is gonna get involved, well then get involved. But the problem is that you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't actually right. That's
right.
You're exposing yourself, and you're exposing your own lack of knowledge. It's like, well, I don't really know how to solve this problem. If it is a problem, I don't know. So they can't solve it. So instead they just say a bunch of trigger words. And look, retweets aren't sales. And I know Tom Taylor wrote this big thing out saying how it's doing well. ICV2, it's not in the top 50 ever. Maybe it was in the top 50 when.
Because I read that tweet. He was saying it was selling well. So
now it didn't come out in December. There was no December issue for so we have to see the next. We'll see it. Well, we'll probably see in a few days. Next week we'll see the numbers, right? So perhaps, but I don't think so. I've been following that for a while to see, because I am buying it. And I'm one of these guys that it's going to be tough to argue with me, because I'm actually paying money for this comic and I'm actually reading it. So if I'm telling you it's not that good, or it's okay only, and there are some wonky bits, like I didn't read this latest issue, so I'm going to read it. So but the cover already irritated me. I'm like, really? He's holding up a sign at a protest? Why is Superman protesting? If he wants something done, he'll fly and go do it. So we'll see. But like, I don't know. I am paying for it. Yeah. Even with High Republic, when I said it wasn't that good, it was okay. It's like, I'm buying it. And the people who are retweeting saying this is so great and thumbs upping, it's like, are you buying it? Because I'm not seeing you at the comic shops when I go. I'm not seeing anyone buying Son of Kal-El. I don't see anyone. When somebody tweets something and says, I love this, I want them to take a selfie with the comic book in their hand.
Yeah.
Like, right? Did you buy this thing? Or are you just saying this is great? Because I'm tired of people who don't buy stuff pretending like they have an opinion. It's like, you don't watch it. Yeah. You don't watch the show. You know, it's like, oh, it's so great that there's going to be this. It's like, did you watch the show? Are you paying for it? Are you buying the Blu-rays? Like, I bought the Superman Lois Blu-ray, right? It's like, did you buy it? Like, I just don't get it. Anyways, I railroaded that. What were you gonna say? Was somebody gonna say something?
We're going to talk about Clash of the Clans and just Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans is over. We decided
it's a Clash of Clans. Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Clash of Clans.
No, it was a great Clash of Clans. Yeah, no, it was a great discussion. Yeah, but that's true. And we got Clobberin Times in the chat. And he's the Superman expert here, so we could, no offense, guys. I'm sure he could put a school all of us, but although
for sure,
Jammin hasn't beat on the tattoos, I think. But
I do. I have a Superman tattoo. So
yeah. But and growing up, I read some Superman, but not as much as Marvel. But most comics, in general, kind of stay away from that real world stuff, because it just doesn't work. But the X-Men could be a metaphor for people that were homosexual. It could be civil rights. It could be you can interpret it in all different ways, which is the beauty of it too. But it is definitely. There is something political there in the background. There's a theme, but it's can't take it just one way. But you can talk about civil rights through that book.
And Mark, I think the problem now is that politics is permeating in every facet of our lives. We there's no escapism anymore. Yeah. Everywhere we turn to get an outlet, the outlet is political. So you literally can't do anything. So that is now becoming the problem. When everyone decided to throw their weight in one of the political spectrums or another, now you have people just saying, I want to turn off the television. I don't want anything. I don't want to watch anything new, because it's just going to be more of this, which I hear every day, all day. I'm tired of it.
They're reverting to old comics. People are reverting to older stuff or manga, because manga my wife reads about
stories.
She reads about 20 different manga right now, and she caught to One Piece, which is like on chapter 4 million or something. And she binged. No, it's serious. It's It's chapter
It's been
900
around for a long
or something.
time.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So she's caught up, and I got her into it, and now she's like way surpassed me. Now I just go to her and ask her stuff. Like she used to ask me, and then I'm like, I just pass the baton to you. You just go with it. And because it's just stories, and people are moving towards it, but I'm still plugging away. I'm still Marc, you're getting action. We're still getting action. I'm getting all the Batmans. I'm getting Son of Kal. I never stopped Wonder Woman. Still getting Wonder Woman. Flash, I didn't get the latest one, but I probably will. It's like I'm still going. X-Men. I've read every X-Men thing that's come out.
Did you get this one?
Oh,
No, I don't do Avengers. I can't do Avengers.
I gave up that Avengers a while ago. They were so stuck on the prehistoric Avengers for a long time, and I was like, I don't care about these guys. Like,
yeah, and you know, and you know, Captain America did that thing where they made Jordan Peterson into the Red Skull, which pissed the shit out of me.
That was Tennessee Coates thing. Yeah.
Man, I love Jordan Peterson.
I don't know how they got away with that.
I don't know. I know Jordan
didn't
Peterson,
end well for them.
Yeah, like
in terms of Jordan Peterson really, got him back. But
yeah,
Steve, what you were saying about
about
politics ever, like Peter Dinklage was complaining about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But it's not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's dwarves. It's a mythological creature like from Lord of the Rings. It's not. So that and I think now Disney was maybe I heard
now
something
they're
going to change it. They're going to change it. Yeah. But I mean, but they were supposed to be magical creatures. They're dwarves, right? I mean,
they've already. I mean, also what about the magic kiss? Like they can't do that.
No.
So
yeah.
You know what? Just don't
No
do
consent.
this. What are you doing?
Yeah, like I agree. Like I read Peter Dinklage. He's like, well, you're moving forward by casting a Latino person as Snow White, but you still have the dwarves out in the forest and all that. And I'm like, can I just ask?
You know what?
The guy in the orange question
people,
for you.
Right? Yeah.
Why are you even bothering? This story's already been done. Are you going to be better than the 37 cartoon, which is a classic? No. Okay, so what are we accomplishing with this? What, like, guys, big board, bunch of sticky notes. Question: what's at the bottom right-hand corner? What is the end goal? What are you looking to accomplish?
Nothing.
You won't accomplish anything. You have name brand on a better movie, and you're making an inferior movie, and there's all this politics now. You literally have accomplished nothing. And there's going to be people in Hollywood who will look back on their careers and realize for 40 years they accomplished nothing.
Sequels. They accomplished sequels. You're 100% right, Steve. Yeah. Do we have anything new anymore?
No.
What was the last new movie we got? Last new IP? How long has it been since we got something? I mean, I'm thinking Lord of the Rings, right? Probably really epic. Harry Potter. But what's that? What came after that's new that you could say like that's a kick-ass series? That's an awesome IP.
Fast and Furious.
No.
Fast and Furious. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Ready Player One.
That's not a series. Yeah, that is great.
Not a series, though.
It's a book.
Okay, so Fast and Furious. No, but it's think of the 80s. We got Star Wars. We got Indiana Jones.
Saw.
Yeah.
It's horror stuff. It's VHS. It's Conjuring.
Yeah, Conjuring's big.
But it's not. There's a dearth of new. My point is, there's a dearth of really new, cool stuff, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like everyone's like, we're waiting for the fourth Matrix movie to come out because that's what we really wanted was a fourth Matrix movie that just metasized the first three. Like, it's because
I turned that off about 10 minutes in.
It was awful. I gotta go in a minute, guys. So Steve, final word.
Yeah, it's just that, and I say this. My mother says to me this all the time. She's like, "There's no new ideas in Hollywood." I'm like, I doubt that, but they're not being listened to. Right. Until you get rid of these large corporations who just have these studios as arms of a larger profile, who are risk adverse. This is it. They're going to run Hollywood into the ground. The good news is we have Bollywood still, and I don't think
they're rising. Them in China, so
yeah.
All right, so the links to everyone's channels are in the description. So I put them in the description of all the live streams anyway. So you guys it's all there. I don't know what we're doing for the next verses, but we're going to do a Jean-Claude Van Damme tournament versus on Action Elite. So it's going to be the top 8 Van Damme movies that I've decided are the top 8 Van Damme movies. And they're going to face each other off. I picked the real top 8 ones, so don't worry about it. They're going to face off. But we'll be back on Saturday at 7 to to talk about Superman and Lois, Boba Fett, and all that other good stuff. Okay, guys, thank you so much. See ya.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to Jammin, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.